Collegiate. And it's been a number of years since that was a pretty big rivalry game for us in football, basketball, everything, tennis,
baseball,
and
softball.
Baseball. Yeah, and so it's nice to get that game going again and to have an opportunity to play them. They bring some different skill sets to the table that we haven't seen in the last few weeks. So it's going to present some challenges, for us as a team tonight. But that's the way it should be when you get to the playoffs.
It should, and we're well versed in that kind of competition. We've played against a team that spreads it out. They'll go 5 wide once in a while, and their quarterback is their leading ground gainer, plus being a good passer. So thrown it 208 times and completed about half of them. He's capable of the big play.
Yeah, two offenses tonight that are polar opposites. When you look at things here and you look at the stats, obviously 208 passes. I think we've thrown about 45, 46.
Like that.
He's thrown 18 touchdown passes this year against 3 interceptions. So very accurate in the things that he does for Wichita Collegiate. We're going to put that ball on the ground and run and pound. And like you and I have talked about most weeks, we tend to have an advantage when there's guys that have to play on both sides of the ball for the other team because you have a chance to wear those guys down. And McNerney, their quarterback, is one of those guys who's not only, like you said, their leading rusher per game, but also their leading passer and also their leading tackler. So he's very involved in their offense. And we've had pretty good success this year when we played against guys like that.
And they just don't have the stud linemen up and down the lineup like they've had. They do have a KU signee in Copeland. He looks like a physical specimen at 6'5", 260, but to go along with him, they don't have that, 3, 4, 5, 6 great interior linemen. So talking with Mike Vernon today, or emailing with Mike Vernon, head coach at Nickerson High School, who beat him 48-14, he said, I think you guys will wear them down. He said, yeah, they've got the big play capability, but he said, like we've done week in and week out, third quarter, fourth quarter is when we tend to start picking up bigger chunks of yardage. And it's our 5 guys up front that have done such a great job blocking for our offense.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to, what Coach Lambert has told our guys all year. Do things our way, do things the right way. And that's just kind of been that mantra. We know we're going to come in and we're going to run the football a lot and we're going to sprinkle in a pass or two, except for last week when we decided to not sprinkle any in. But, it didn't require it last week. It was one of those cold nights. It was one of those nights you just really had to grind it out and do what we had to do. And, we fell behind last week early, but we were able to bounce right back from that. So this is going to be one of those games, again, like you said, they may not be quite as big as what maybe they've been in the past. They still usually bring some pretty good quality athletes, and they seem to be a team that pretty much says we're going to do what we can to outscore you throughout the evening. They may not stop us a lot, but their offense is going to try to get up and down the field.
And they're 5-4 record, but they've played some good competition, so we know they're a quality team, and nobody is taking them lightly for sure. You're listening to the Anthony Hopkins pregame show. Local insurance agent Anthony Hopkins is a proud supporter of Smoky Valley Vikings and your sponsor of the Viking pregame show. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, I had a chance to talk with Coach Lambert earlier today. You're listening to Smoky Valley Football. Back right after this.
It's tough out there. Trying to stretch every paycheck a little further than the last one, it means cutting costs, and one of the best places to start is at the State Farm office of Anthony Hopkins in Ellsworth, because he'll do a free discount double check to make sure you're getting the car insurance discounts you deserve. Sometimes those can be up to 40%. So give State Farm agent Anthony Hopkins a call today, because being there to help keep more money in your pocket is why he's there. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
A good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Lidsborg Community Hospital and Family Healthcare Clinic, supporting concussion safety and impact testing for all athletes who call the Smoky Valley home.
The Old Stuga in downtown Lidsborg is celebrating 40 years in business. Home of the famous Brent Nelson sandwich. Visit them on South Main Street. Go Vikings and go Swedes.
Improve your yield with A-Series soybeans from DuPont Pioneer. Available through Phelps Seed, your hometown Pioneer seed specialist. Using accelerated yield technology, A-Series beans deliver 2.3 more bushels per acre than the competition. Phelps Seed and Pioneer, with you from the word go.
At State Farm, when home and auto work together as a team, you score time and money. Call State Farm agent Anthony Hopkins, 785-472-4426 today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This is a Rockingham broadcast of the Smoky Valley Vikings.
And welcome back to more Viking Pregame. Don Banks along with Coach Tim Lambert as we turn the page from the regular season into the, some call it the third season because the playoffs start the second season. Now this is the third season, but take us back to the Clay Center game and a toe-to-toe first half. But wow, did you guys come out focused in this third quarter?
Well, it was, we feel like we played pretty well, and we feel like we just continued to get a little bit better each week. We thought Clay Center was a really good football team and very, very disciplined, very, very well coached, very, more of a physical type football team that was on a roll. And, they came out and played really well for a while, and I think we just outlasted them. And we're able to, put the game away in the second half.
They looked to start throwing the ball a little bit in the third quarter, and Doug and I have complimented your secondary that they have stepped up a little bit. They'll need to be stepping up because the team you played tonight, Collegiate, throws the ball a little bit more. Yeah,
they're gonna spread you out and throw it a little bit more than some of the teams that we've played recently. With our district teams were pretty run oriented. So we're back to, we've played some spread teams, and they like to throw it a lot, but it's been a while, so it's going to be kind of a different change of pace, and hopefully, our kids are up to the challenge, and we can be successful. Our defensive backs, I think, have played reasonably well, and continue to get better during the season, and so, we'll just wait to see what happens.
You've gotten everybody back to health. You had Kyle and Court both go out in that game with some injuries, but they've had a good week of practice.
Yeah, we're pretty healthy. So, there's really, we have no excuses on that front. So we're excited about that, and we're, our health, and then also just confidence-wise and where we are as a football team.
Got Collegiate coming in tonight now, a team that was ranked early in preseason in Class 4A Division II, and they've got a great quarterback who runs and throws the ball well, so you kind of have to get prepared for a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and he's a good athlete. He's going to create problems for anybody that plays collegiate. And they are 5-4, but the teams that they've gotten beat by are very good football teams in Upper Division 4A, and then Nickerson beat them also. So I'm not sure that the number 3 ranking wasn't valid at the time, and we'll see. I think we're. I think we're ready to go, and we'll just, that's why you play the game, is to find out, where you stand. And so our kids are excited about the opportunity and just the chance to play collegiate and their tradition, and it's at Lindsborg and here on our home turf, and so we couldn't ask for a better opportunity.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting night, no question about that, and that'll bring us to the Anderson Body Shop keys to victory. Smoky Valley needs to continue what they've been doing the last several weeks.
Yeah, I think the best defense is an offense that can keep the ball away from them, and we need to make first downs when we have the ball, and just try to make the game our kind of game. We want it to be a physical game and not let it be more of a fancy type game. And if we could do that and eliminate turnovers and run to the football like we have been running to the football on defense the last few weeks, I think we've got a good shot. But at the same time, we know that Collegiate is a very good football team, very well coached. So it's going to be exciting.
You're well coached. Good luck.
Thank you.
Tim Lambert of the Vikings. We'll be back with more pregame right after this.
It's tough out there. Trying to stretch every paycheck a little further than the last one, it means cutting costs. And one of the best places to start is at the State Farm office of Anthony Hopkins in Ellsworth, because he'll do a free discount double check to make sure you're getting the car insurance discounts you deserve. Sometimes those can be up to 40%. So give State Farm agent Anthony Hopkins a call today, because being there to help keep more money in your pocket is why he's there. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
A good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Overhead Door Company of North Central Kansas invites you to visit their website at odcnck.com. Once there, you can look over the products that Overhead Door offers for commercial and residential installation and repair. Overhead Door Company services all of North Central Kansas.
Ace your next harvest with A-Series beans from Phelps Seed, your hometown Pioneer seed specialist, providing Pioneer wheat, corn, soybean, sunflower, and milo seed, along with the crop protection chemicals you need. Grow with the winner. Phelps Seed, with you from the word go.
Farmers State Bank of Lindsborg, located at 447 Harrison Street, is proud to support the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes. Good luck, Vikings, and good luck, Swedes. Member FDIC.
Boyd Accounting provides professional accounting services in the Lindsborg area. Call them today at 227-2589 for all your accounting needs. Wishing the best of luck to the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes.
You're listening to Smoky Valley Vikings Athletics.
And welcome back to Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field here on the campus of Bethany College, where Smoky Valley plays their home games. It's week 10 in the season. So the Vikings have put together an 8-1 season with just the lone blemish out at Larned, where we thought we didn't play that well. We weren't focused, and I don't think they'll have any trouble getting the kids focused tonight.
Yeah, and I think, you've seen every game since then. Our level of focus really seemed to change. I think, there was a good wake-up call for us when we were at Larned. I think they did some things that really exploited what we were not good at the time. I think it made us a better football team as the season progressed.
And I think it has, and Larned has made the playoffs. They're one of the 7 teams out of our league that made the playoffs. So that, speaks volumes. They're not a bad team whatsoever, so they're good. But our opponent tonight started off the season 2-0, beat Rose Hill, beat Hoisington. They played Hoisington in our league. That was a 35-20 score. Then they lost to Buhler and lost to Mulvane. Then they got back on the winning track against Wellington. Then they lost to Andale. Andale, year in and year out, is always a very good team. They lost 35-7 to Andale. Then they played Clearwater, won 40-20. Then they played our league opponent, who we beat last year, Nickerson, in overtime. Nickerson handled the Collegiate Spartans 48-14 before getting back on the winning track 42-14 against Wichita Trinity last week. So that's the way their schedule went, and that's what sets up tonight's matchup. And I'm just so excited about another home game, and 2 district championships now we've won in a row, and now we get the first round of the sub-state. So hopefully the Vikings will come out and be focused. And fitting that one of our offensive linemen, Nate Groslin, is bringing out the wood tonight. He's one of the great linemen that we have had that week in and week out has made a difference in how our running backs can run the ball.
Yeah, and there's so many weeks you just feel like maybe there should be 5 or 6 or 7 pieces of those wood to bring out, because so many guys do such a great job. And like you and I have talked about, once those holes are opened up, it just feels like our running backs and our receivers are just pounding people down the field at that second and third level. So, yeah, quite an honor tonight for Nate.
The league members that have already played, Hoisington was a winner over Cimarron. Heston was a winner over Wichita Independent. Larned was a winner over Norton. And Halstead got tripped up by Marion. So those teams in our league have already played, so we're already 3-1 in that go. And then Clay Center is at Nickerson tonight. Kingman is at Scott City tonight. And Collegiate is here. And then we will play, if we win, we play the winner of Colby and Holcomb. And we're pretty sure that'll be a home game next week. So that's enough about what's going to happen. Let's get to the starting lineups. Doug, what do you got?
Defensive starting lineups tonight for the Wichita Collegiate Spartans. They run a little bit of a 4-2-5 look on their line tonight. Number 8, he is a junior, 6'5", 230, Gabe Fisher. Their other defensive end, number 14, Shashir Reddy. He is a 6'1", 170-pound senior. Their 2 interior linemen on the defense, number 78, Mac Copeland. He is the gentleman who is signed with the University of Kansas. He is a 6'5", senior, 255 pounds. Their other interior lineman, number 44, that is Grant Dieter. He is 6'3", 200. Their 2 linebackers tonight, number 52, Trey Charbonneau, and number 4, Dion Sims. And in their defensive backfield, they have number 35, Will Sahachin, number 17, got to get back down to that number, Jacob Chugg. He is a freshman, 5'9", 155. Number 16, Julius Bolden. He is also a freshman. Number 5, Cody McNerney, their quarterback, 6'1", senior, 205. And number 6, Colin Egan. He is a 5'11", senior. Starting on offense for the Vikings tonight, much the same way as we have this season. Of course, across the front line, anchored in there by Jonathan Burks. Bookending him, Kai Shugren and Conrad Peterson. And then Nate Grosland and Ethan Wampler wrap out the line. At tight end tonight, again, Jacob Adams. Our split end, Court Elliott. Our wide, Zach Abel. And in the backfield at quarterback, Brett Heitschmidt. And behind him, Riley Odell and Kyle Anderson. It looks like we've got the coin flip, Donnie. What do we have?
Collegiate won the toss and deferred, so they're going to kick off to us, and we will have on offense first, and it'll be an exciting matchup. It's the white team against the black team. Smoky Valley in all black uniforms tonight, white lettering, white numerals, and then their black helmets with orange face masks. And Wichita Collegiate, white pants, white shirts, white helmets, and they got blue lettering and gold around that. So it's the good guys against the good guys, so to speak.
We hope our guys are better.
We hope they are better, but it'll be an exciting matchup. So the Vikings will receive first. Tim Lambert and Zion Thomas will be the two deep men for the Vikings. They'll head back to near the 10-yard line, and Collegiate, we think their kicker will be number 13, Addison Harris, but we'll see who actually brings the tee out. It's kind of hard when everybody's warming up at the beginning of the practice or beginning of the night when they come out, but it looks like it's going to be number 11 carrying the tee out, so it's already going to be a switch from what we thought. Gorey will be the kicker.
Well, they like to throw us a curveball early, don't they?
Absolutely.
That's what you got to do. It doesn't say kicker next to him. It says kicker next to 13.
Yeah, what do we know? That's the guy that warmed up 13. I did see 11 kicking a little bit, but he was kind of a short kicker, so Tim Lambert and Zion Thomas will need to be moving up here a little bit. Also want to be known that you can watch tonight's game on live.smokyvalley.org, so that's where it's at too. Zion Thomas takes it about the 15, trying to get near side. Up 20, he's got a little seam, turns it upfield, and he'll get up near the 35-yard line, 36-yard line, so great return by Zion Thomas. And the Vikings have great field position to get that offense going. Will they come out in the wishbone from the start, or will they show I formation? They've been a little deceptive in how they've started the games, but then they go back to their bread and butter pretty quickly.
Yeah, it always seems like we try to open up. Like I said, there's a lot of formations that we do run. Tends to be the I mostly at the beginning of the games, and once we get a lead, we see a lot of that wishbone.
Well, the I formation is what it is. Wide receiver is Zion Thomas. Anderson behind Court Elliott, behind Brett Heitschmidt. First snap comes through. Here comes Kyle Anderson running. He's got a little bit of seam across the 40 up to near the 41-yard line. So they spotted us up to the 38 on that return. So it's just a 3-yard gain for Kyle on first down up to the 41. Second down and 7. Viking fan, great crowd here on hand. Great chili tailgate sponsored by senior class. Is that what you said?
I think it was Booster Club tonight.
Booster Club tonight. It was a great chili feed tonight. The Vikings will come out double tight and I formation once again. Second down and 7, heading from north to south. Here comes Court Elliott pounding up the middle. He'll get up to about the 44-yard line there. The Vikings will face third down and 4.
Tackle on the play made by Mac Copeland. He is a nice physical specimen out there on their line. And like you said, he's definitely their biggest lineman out there on the defensive line. And he's going to definitely present a challenge for our linemen over there who've done such a great job this year. But again, it's going to be interesting to see if we go at him and try to get him out of the way, or you go away from him and see if he has the ability to come catch you.
He's on their left or right side of their line, and McMurney, their quarterback, is on the safety out here. Here comes wishbone formation. Here comes Lambert trying to get outside. Very hard reaching for the first down. I believe he's got it. Great job by Lambert scrambling for that extra yard and move the chains as the Vikings get their first down on their first possession without having to go for it on fourth down as we did last week.
It's much nicer when you can pick it up on third.
Yes.
And a great tackle there by number 16 for them, Julius Bolden. He was just able to get a finger there on Tim's cleat and was able to trip him up, but a great job by Timmy to be able to reach and get that first down.
Zach Abel, the wide receiver to the near side, still I formation for the Vikings in this first possession. And that's Elliott going up the middle, and he'll get maybe a yard on the play right to midfield. So Court Elliott stopped right at midfield. Second down and 9 for the Vikings coming up after a tackle by a whole bunch of Spartans in there. Charbonneau might have been the last one up off the pile. The ball right at midfield for the Vikings, just underway. 9:55 left to go in this quarter. Vikings at home after winning their district over Clay Center. Clay Center at Nickerson tonight. So now the Vikings have put 2 receivers to the far side. And Carson Winholtz out to the near side. Here comes Kyle Anderson, left side. He's got a little room, but boy, he was closed on quickly there. Looked like he was going to break a tackle, but somebody held on down low. I believe that was number 6, was it?
I think it was number 6, and I think number 78 was also in the mix again. He seems to be around the football on a number of occasions. That's at Copeland again.
So he got Kyle, because somebody pulled him down from behind, actually. Looked like he was going to stream through there and get some big yardage, but somebody had a good grip on him, so we'll give that one to Copeland. So the Vikings facing 3rd down and a long 6, short 7 here. Go back to the wishbone formation for the first time. Double tight, wishbone. First man through. Here comes Kyle with it now, trying to get outside, stretching for first down yardage, and he's not going to get it. It's going to be about 2 yards short. It's going to be 4th and 2. They got to get down to the 41-yard line, and they're going to spot it at the 43. Well, just short of the 43. So the Vikings look like they may be wanting to punt the ball away here. Would be a change from the norm as Coach Lambert, especially when you got into collegiate territory here, to be able to go for it on 4th down, 4th and 3, but he wants to put them back a long ways. So they'll send Egan back to receive the punt. He'll go back to near the 10-yard line. They will snap it to Odell. He will get it away. Wobbly kick and let it hit and go, and it will take a Viking bounce and stay inside the 10-yard line. So great punt by Riley Odell, punting that away and getting it to drop at the 10-yard line. So that's okay for the Vikings. Give them a big field to go with and see what their spread offense will do. See what their defense will settle in here. And maybe not throwing the dice out and going for it on 4th down. See if it'll pay dividends for the Vikings here down the road.
Yeah, I think field position is a big key here, and if we go for it up here at the 40, 43-yard line, don't make it, it gives Collegiate a short field and builds some confidence. Instead, force them to go 90 yards here on their first drive to make something happen and give our defense a chance to do what they do well, get stops.
They're not going several wide out. They got 3 backs in the backfield, and quarterback's going to keep it himself, and he'll get up to near the 5-yard line, so he'll get a gain of 5 on the play, 2nd down and 5 for Collegiate. He is their leading ground gainer at 800 and some yards for the season, so nearly a 100-yard average. On the tackle for the Vikings, Lane Shaw getting up off the pile late.
Yeah, I think Riley Odell was in there. It was a difficult one to see because he pulled some guys a couple of yards there at the end, and there were a pile of Vikings in there on top of him.
He's in the pistol formation. He's got 2 backs beside him and then 1 tailback even farther back behind. You can see where they come from. Here comes number 12. He just dove over the pile. Somebody made a pile for the Vikings in the backfield there. That was Riley Odell got in the backfield. And then the running back, number 12, that's Morrow. He just leaped over to try to get a little bit of yardage, and he actually got about the length of the football is all. So it's 3rd down and a 4 for Collegiate.
It was an interesting decision because it looked like it was his own lineman he leaped over, but he didn't leap over it in such a way he was going to be able to do much afterwards, so he wasn't helping himself a lot.
Now they go with 5 wideouts here on 4th down or 3rd down and 4. Going to throw a quick one in the out, flat, caught, and it's 1st down yardage just across the 20. So the reception was made by 32.
Looks like that's Will DeVore out there.
DeVore and the Viking tackler was that Lane?
Tackle was Lane Schrog.
Strong on the tackle. So it looks like the Vikings are kind of going to play a man-to-man, which is about what you have to do when they spread out so wide that it almost requires you to go man-to-man coverage. No score here. Vikings 1 first down and then punted. Collegiate now with their first down. Wide receiver to the near side. Now again, man in motion along the line. The quarterback's going to try to cake it and cut back field. And man, the Vikings stayed home. Kyle Anderson along with Carson Winholtz, along with Tim Lambert. They were all there. Did get a couple yards on the play up to the 23, so it's going to be 2nd down and 8. That's what he's capable of doing, but looks like we've scouted them very well.
Yeah, and he runs the ball well. It's interesting, he throws the ball a lot, but they've only thrown it once here in their first, 5 plays?
Yeah.
And going with this little look here where he can do some counters and some different looks.
Quarterback snap. He's going to hang on to it himself, trying to pop it outside. Zach Abel made him stop from going outside, turned it back up where they had some help, but he gets a little bit of a long carry. He'll probably get 5 or 6 yards on that. It's going to be 3rd down and 3 for Collegiate. going with their strength right now. Collegiate and that quarterback, Kansas Wesleyan does that a lot on their offense, and it's a quarterback read. He really lets those blockers get in front of him and see what hole opens, and it's kind of a delay draw, so to speak, but that's what they're going with. Third down now, still staying in that tight formation, double tight end, and man in motion from the wing. Now they go right up the middle. Quarterback's going to keep it again. He's going to be short. Looks like he's going to be right on the 30, and they had to get up to the 31-yard line. So decision time for Collegiate's coach. And they may. I don't think they'll measure because it looks like the ball is just across the 30-yard line. It is fourth down. They're going to not measure about a length of the football. So this is a gutsy call when you're that close. You get one guy to slip in there, one guy to move in tight. And I did see their quarterback, number 5, punt the ball a couple of times in warm-up, so he's capable of punting the ball away. But big fourth down here. They snap it to him. They run, and they're going to get it. First down, Collegiate by about a yard. So power running in there in number 32.
That would be DeVore again.
He caught a pass for a first down earlier, so they get 2 first downs now in their initial drive and now have it out to the 22-yard line.
And that was definitely a read play. He had that on his hip for quite a while, and McNerney made that decision at the very last instant to keep the ball in his gut and let him go. And he picked up just about a half yard more than he needed.
Man in motion to the far side. Quarterback snaps it, hands it off to Morrow. Morrow's going to be wrapped up after about a yard gain on the play. Number 12, Morrow, is the carrier. He's a senior. He's the littlest guy in the backfield, but he's got the second most carries and second most yards of anybody on their team. So second down and 9 favors the Vikings a little bit here. They've been picking up some pretty good yardage on their first 2 first downs. Now we'll see if the Viking defense can stiffen here a little bit. Wide receiver to the near side, still that same formation. We expected them to go 5 wide a little more often, but they're not going to do that so far. Now a toss tomorrow, trying to get outside. Good Viking defense read. Now he gets a little bit of a seam and gets up to about the 38 or 39-yard line. So he'll pick up about 6 on the play. It's going to leave him another third down and 3 here, just short of the 40-yard line.
One of the things I'm most impressed with here with Collegiate, since we haven't had the chance to see them play before, very patient at finding the holes. You saw that time with Morrow on the toss. Looked like we had it strung out very well, and he slowed, he paced himself, and then found that little gap and got an extra block to kick into Carson Windholtz out there for just an instant, and that instant picks up 5-6 yards.
Now they go 5 wide outs. They go 3 on the near side, 2 on the far side. Lone back in the backfield. Now they put DeVore back in motion behind the quarterback. It's going to be an option. It's going to be a pitch to DeVore, and he gets right at the sticks again. It looks like he's going to be just another half yard short of the first down marker. So he'll be just short, about a length of the football short again. It's going to be another fourth down. So the Viking defense is really making Collegiate earn their yardage. We expected to see a little more flash and dash, and we've seen a little more of a Smoky Valley type of game. Grind it out. There's only 2:40 left in the first quarter, and each team has had 1 possession.
Game keeps up like this, we'll be home by 8.
Well, same pistol formation with 2 backs beside him and 1 behind the quarterback. Now he puts a man in motion to the near side. It's going to be a read again. The quarterback's going to keep it this time. I'm not sure. It looks like Smoky Valley held. It'll be a tremendous spot. The FAR official is walking up short of the first down. The fans are cheering. We'll see where they actually put the football down. It looks like they've got a pretty favorable spot. I don't know. They're going to bring it out and check it. They're not going to... They're going to signal first down Smoky Valley without a measurement. I would be Collegiate's coach. I would be upset that they didn't measure. But with a turf field, it's huge. You can see the marks well enough. And what a great job by the Viking defense. And their number 1 back, the quarterback, carried that himself, and they didn't get it.
You know, giving our defense a chance to stand up to the Collegiate offense here, and we take the ball over almost in the exact same spot where we punted it from previously. So the ground doesn't change necessarily. The time changed to our advantage because we like that grinded out style, and so we take over here at the 42.
Wishbone formation. Here comes Court Elliott pounding his way through, and he'll get down to the 37-yard line before he's tripped up. Well, Court Elliott with a long 3, almost 4 yards on the carry. They spotted it at the 41, and we're down just across the 37, not quite to the 30, or not quite to the 37. So 2nd down and 7 for Smoky Valley. Wishbone formation. Riley Odell, Anderson, and Elliott behind Coach Lambert. Here comes Anderson trying to get outside. He's got some room. He's got first down yardage inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Great running by Kyle Anderson, following a good block of Jacob Adams and others out there, and moved the sticks for Smoky Valley. Great run.
Vikings did a great job setting the edge. There was a little bit of a counter look. Got all the defense shifting to the left, end up taking the ball back to our left, and we were able to get out there and had some nice blocks and hit the edge.
Which is that stud Copeland side. So, to answer your question, maybe we're going to run right at him. Here comes Riley Odell running up the middle right at Copeland, and that time he won't get more than about a yard. That's hard-nosed football there. That's mano a mano. Our best, strongest running back, Riley Odell, and their best lineman, and we got a yard out of it. We're down under a minute. Still no score here. Vikings getting close to the next Tech wireless red zone, but got to keep moving the football. 2nd down and 9. Still in that wishbone formation on this set. Heitschmidt turns and going to look downfield, and we're going to stoppage of play. It was going to be a pass, and Kyle Anderson was a feature back out in there, and he had room to go, but we're going to get a motion penalty, I believe. They're backing up 5 yards against somebody. The official has a microphone tonight, but I'm not sure it's going to work. Maybe he doesn't know how to run it. Well, that's what it was. I didn't see anybody move, but must have. Somebody saw him.
You know, again, when you're an offense, or when you're Brett Heitschmidt, and again, I know Brett wants us to win, but you get a chance to run a pass play, you like to see those things work to your advantage. Now the Vikings behind the sticks a little bit, 2nd and 15.
Shotgun formation. Heitschmidt on the way out, looking. He's got a receiver. Lambert caught in the flat. He tries to reach forward. He'll get the penalty yardage back and a couple more. So it's going to be 3rd down now and about 7 to go for Smoky Valley. Good accurate pass by Heitschmidt. He threw his first interception a couple weeks ago on a kind of a busted play a little bit. Otherwise, he hasn't thrown many passes, but he hasn't thrown it to the other team, that's for sure.
No, he hasn't, and he's done a really good job this year, I think, making the decisions on the pass. We've done some nice rollouts with him, been able to find the right open receivers to hit, and we've almost always had success on our pass plays.
Thomas out wide, Abel out wide. Here comes Kyle Anderson trying to get outside. He's going to be wrapped up. First man through. Vikings couldn't hold him out. Man, there's a whole lot of activity going on after the whistle. Kyle got shoved way back in the backfield after the tackle was made, but getting up off the bottom of the pile, number 44 must have been able to make a pile to start with. The Vikings are facing 4th down now, and that'll be the last play of the quarter. So we'll find out what the Vikings do on 4th down and 8 after we return from this quarter break. 0-0 is our score. Back right after this.
Arn Reinert, CPA LLC, provides tax and accounting services in the Smoky Valley area and is a proud supporter of Smoky Valley High School and Bethany College activities. Located at 117 South Lincoln Street in Lindsborg. Arn Reinert, CPA LLC.
First Bank Kansas is a proud sponsor of Smoky Valley football. First Bank Kansas is your community-oriented, customer-focused bank where banking is made personal with locations in Lindsborg, Salina, and McPherson.
This is a Smoky Valley Vikings broadcast.
And welcome back to Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field. The Bethany Swedes will be finishing out their season tomorrow here against their friends Falcons. I want to thank also our sponsors that help us. Art Shirt, Harry Malari, Viking Auto, Scott's, R&R Excavating. Contact Mari Loader for your Smoky Valley real estate needs. Dr. Darrell Loader, Smoky Valley Chiropractic, CNL Heating and Cooling. Lindsberg Family Dental, Phoenix Restoration, People's Bank and Trust, Gallant Tire and Auto, Dower Welding and Machine, and Bank of Tescott.
Interesting first quarter, 35 yards of offense for Smoky Valley, 31 yards of offense for Collegiate, and both teams have run the exact amount of plays, 11 plays for both teams, 7 yards passing, for Smoky Valley and 5 for Collegiate, and we expected Collegiate to have a lot of yards, and most of it's been on the ground.
Vikings are going for it. I formation. Highsmith rolling out the pass, looking down the field. He's got a receiver over the head of Jacob Adams. It was going to be too short for a completion anyway. If he'd have caught it, he was well covered, but it falls incomplete, and Collegiate will hold on 4th. The Vikings give it up.
I think Brett had a little bit more time there. I think it was a rollout pass. I think he had Jacob there in the flat about 5 yards up the field, and I think we needed about 6 or 7. And I think if he'd have given that play just a little bit more time, might have been able to find him a little bit deeper up the field. He allowed those short mid-range guys to be able to cover that a little too easily, and it didn't seem like there was a lot of pressure back there. So Collegiate takes over.
Wide receiver each way, 2 backs in the back beside the quarterback. Quarterback's going to tuck it and run right up the middle. He's got a little bitty seam and then fights his way for about 3 yards on the play. Tackled by the interior of the Vikings defense with Wampler and Peterson and Kyle Anderson in on the tackle, I believe.
Yeah, both teams are trying to challenge that mid area, those defensive tackles on both teams. And it's interesting. I think both of them have stood their ground extremely well to this point. It's been very tough running up the middle. And again, you got to keep everybody honest and not allow them to break something big.
5 wide outs for the Spartans this time. Quarterback by himself in the shotgun formation. Going to tuck it and run right straight up the field, though. He isn't going anywhere. Isn't surprising anybody. He'll get a yard, maybe 2, maybe across the 35. And it'll be facing another 3rd down and 3 to 4 yards. This has been their normal MO so far. The Viking defense is certainly playing strong as well as is Collegiate here in the early going.
For somebody that likes a lot of offense, this is not a very good game. But for somebody that's looking for a really good playoff game, this is exactly what it is. It's 2 very good teams going toe-to-toe here and basically telling each defense to stop them. And that's pretty much how it's gone throughout this first quarter and into the second.
1 wide receiver to the near side, bunch around the quarterback. Quarterback's going to hand it off to Morrow. He's going to try the left side, and he's going to get nowhere. He's going to get no gain on the play. It's going to be 4th down and 3, and Collegiate will send their punt unit out, it looks like. There's about 6 or 7 guys coming out on the field, and now their quarterback is going to be their punter, so he would be a threat to run.
Yeah, it's a difficult spot to want to do that, though. You're on 36-yard line, but it's definitely something to keep our eyes on as this game keeps going. You definitely don't want to get lulled to sleep here and start heading back into return mode too quickly.
Yeah, I think a punter's going to just punt the ball away. It's a low punt or low snap, but he gets it off. High, wobbly kick. Abel's going to go back and try to get it. It's got it at the 25. Gets away from the first and gets up across the 30, first tackler, up to about the 32-yard line. So it'll be about a 7-yard return on that punt. And the Vikings haven't returned many punts all year, so I'm glad to see Zach go out and get them. Well, he's caught most of them, but just hasn't returned them. But it looked like he had a little room there, and he gets it up. They're going to spot him at the 30 or at the 29-yard. Wow, that wasn't a very good spot. I don't know
if they thought his knee went down early, but I thought he was still lunging forward there. It looked like he made it to about the 32. But
yeah, that's what I thought. But 2 or 3 yards in this particular part of the game probably doesn't mean a lot. 5 down linemen for Collegiate. 2 linebackers and 3 or 4 safeties, whatever they're going to bunch together there. Here comes Kyle trying to get outside, and he's going to get a yard, maybe 2, across the 30 to the 31. So we'll give him 2 yards on that carry. They've got a lot of speed in their backfield, defensive backfield. And now we got a stoppage of play here for something.
Can't tell if maybe they're talking about a warning for keeping the players back here. Or...
Sideline warning, and that's what the thing is now. It used to be on that white line, that big heavy white line. You used to stand behind that. Now you have to be back to that second line. Only the coaches can be outside of that line. So maybe because the play got a little close and the official here ran into somebody, maybe they called that on the warning. But next time it'll be a 5-yard penalty. So 2nd down and 8 for Smoky Valley. It's been a kind of a routine down and distance for them. Here comes Kyle. Here comes a little opening. Here comes nearly 1st down yardage. He gets over the top of the pile and up near the 44, 1st down yardage. Great effort by Kyle. 2nd and 3rd effort with people helping to try to bring him down, but he just simply was not going to be denied.
Collegiate's showing a lot of their athleticism. They get there quickly, they hold on, but at the same time, if you're watching this close, they've got a hold of us, but our legs never stop churning, and Kyle was still pushing for 1-2 extra yards there at the end.
First down Vikings. Here come Cord Elliott pounding his way up the middle. He'll get nearly 5 yards on the power run. Cord Elliott just continues to run with those high knees, chugging and churning and following his blockers. Wampler, the last one up off the bottom of the pile. Ethan Wampler has just been outstanding, as have all the offensive linemen. I'm going to say a short 5 on the carry, probably officially just a 4-yard carry. 8.5 minutes left to go, first quarter. Vikings' third possession. No score yet in the ball game. Turn and hand it off again to Cord Elliott. Again, this time he's not going to go anywhere. He's going to get stopped. He'll get across the 45, but just barely. And that'll bring up the Vikings' third down now and 5. They got to get right to midfield to get a first down. And the nose of the football is exactly on the 45-yard line.
One of those games where I feel like we're watching the game right in front of us the whole time, because it's really taking place about the 40 to the 30 here, back and forth, except for when the Collegiate took over at the 10. But it's definitely all right here in the middle, and it's just a shoot 'em up, drag out, everything you could ask in a game right now.
It's hard-nosed football. It's man-to-man, man-man football. Here comes Kyle Anderson running. Kyle stringing, and right at the first down marker. I don't know if they can hold it short. Looks like it's got to be touching the yard line. And man, that's going to be an inch away. I believe it's going to be 1 inch short.
He got about as close as you could possibly get. McNerney comes up, the quarterback, and drills him hard. It was a pretty good hit. And again, Kyle falls forward.
Yeah.
And falls forward close enough to get a measurement here.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to be stopped about 1.5 yards short, but then he did pull hard and wing it up there, and we'll see when they tighten the chains up here, will they make it? No, they got to the ball has to touch the white line at the 50-yard line, so it's fourth down Smoky Valley. Well, is this going to be quarterback sneak time, or is this going to be, you don't want to run at their main man, Copeland, their number 78. They're a little smaller right in front of John Burks, the center. We'll see if Heichschmidt will power his way up, call his number for the first time. Heichschmidt goes under center, and he's going to hand it off. Here comes Kyle Anderson powering his way up. He's got more than enough yards for the first down. He's across the 40 and down near the 35-yard line. He needed 2 inches, and he got 13 yards on that carry. Great running. I think they expected the quarterback sneak as well.
Yeah, I think we had a beautiful hole made there on that right side, and Kyle was able to get to that second wave. And again, once you give Kyle a chance to get to that second wave of defenders, he's usually very difficult to bring down, and again, stretch forward for another 3 or 4 at the end of that play.
Grosslin and Schugan over there on that right side making that hole. Here comes Cord Elliott again. He's going to be stopped as he gets down to the 35-yard line. He'll get a couple yards. It looked like they've decided they're not going to give any ground up the middle. Whoever's going to carry the ball up in the middle is going to earn every inch they get, and Kyle is just going to be able to break something on the outside. But yeah, like you said, no score in this game. Yardage almost identical after 1 quarter. What a great pounding, hard-nosed football game this is going to turn out to be. Wishbone formation behind Heichschmidt. Here comes Kyle trying it up the middle. He's going to get a little bit of yardage. He got through the first tackler and got down to the 33-yard line before he was tripped up. It's going to be third down, and they didn't give him a very good spot. It'll be third down and about 6, a long 6, short 7. Now they moved it up a little bit more, so they get it to where I was looking at the marker over there on the sideline. It's going to be third down. We'll call it 6 yards to go. Got to get to the 28-yard line for the first down. Vikings have gone wishbone formation now the last couple of series, so they stay in that wishbone formation. It's going to be a toss. Lambert's going to try to get outside on the far side. He's going towards his first down marker, and he's going to be ridden out of bounds short of the first down. He won't get to the 30-yard line, so it's going to be fourth down and about 3 to go. Their speed on their defensive side is equal to Lambert's speed on the offensive side.
Yeah, and it looked like, we had everybody in the middle there and really, really pinned in, but you're right. They moved so quickly laterally out to the outside. We had Kyle leading that with a lead block, and it looked like he was going to be able to ward that guy off for just a second. But again, he was able to slip that block, get out on Tim, and force him out of bounds. Still going to be, about fourth and about 4.5, 5?
No, we're about 3 yards is all we need for the first down. The ball, we got to get to the 28. Oh, there's a penalty right there is what we needed. I don't know if he changed the play count or what he did, but it drew somebody off sides, and Collegiate's going to back themselves. Look like they're huddling. The officials are huddling, but Collegiate's backing up, so I think they knew they were offside. So the first penalty is going to be a penalty that gives the Vikings a first down. So great job by Smoky Valley to get the first down on defense. Thank you, sir.
Garrett Scritchfield here in the building delivering items and taking care of us today since Mr. Swisher is off taking care of himself today. So
thank you very much.
Good to have him. Good to have him.
First down, Smoky Valley at the 26-yard line. Heitschmidt turns and hands it off to Lambert. Lambert trying to get through there, gets away from one tackle, spins and gets a couple more yards down to the 22 or 23-yard line. Nearing for the first time the Next Tech Wireless Red Zone.
Yeah, the Next Tech Wireless Red Zone here. We're lowest rates, flexible plans, exceptional customer service for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless.
So the Vikings knocking on the door here of the red zone. Got to get to the red zone before you get to the goal line. But we'd like to see break a big play here and get it into pay dirt. Here comes Kyle Anderson trying the left side. He's got some room. He's a tackle away from getting in there, and he is in the Next Tech Wireless red zone down to the 13-yard line. Just a tackle away from breaking it all the way. That was close.
Yeah, he was able to really hit that left side quickly and make it right across the line. And you're right, there was one tackler left. If he could have broken that last one, he's probably in the zone right now. So Vikings, again, establishing that offense the way we want. A nice drive here, marching down the field. I believe we started out about the 28-yard line, 29-yard line. So moving the ball well, a lot of plays and a lot of time coming off that clock.
Wishbone formation again. Here comes Kyle Anderson again. He's got a tackle to break. This time he's going third, fourth, and fifth tackler, and he's going to end up maybe getting a yard out of it after all that. But he broke so many tackles to get to where he got to. The whole team, you talk about team pursuit. Collegiate had team pursuit on that one.
We're a plethora of Spartans over there. Yeah. Let's just say that. It seemed like every time he was able to ward one off, another one showed up. So, again, just continuing what we do well, continuing to run the football, continuing to find holes, just wearing down that defense here of Collegiate. Although they're standing their ground well, we've moved the ball well. 12th play of the drive.
1 yard gain on that one, second down and 9. And then off to Anderson, trying it up the middle again. He's pressuring down to near the 5-yard line. It'll look like it'll be 6-yard line is where they'll end up spotting it. Third down and about 3, maybe 4. We'll see where they spot it. A long 3. That was a little bit different. A little power right up the middle on that play. Kind of faked a little toss to the outside and then powered it right up the middle.
That was one of the first plays where we've got to that second line and knocked the guy over. And it's funny to watch our guys because it seems like we get stronger as the game goes on.
No question about that. Third down. Heitschmidt turns, hands it off to Court Elliott. Court Elliott nearing first down yardage. I believe he's got first down yardage. It's going to be first and goal for the Vikings. And like you said, Doug, how fast this game's going. Just 3 minutes and 15 seconds left to go in the second quarter. So great run by Court Elliott there, getting the ball down inside the 2-yard line. So first and goal for the Vikings, knocking on pay dirt. This is going to be, if they can finish it off, a 71-yard drive, I believe.
Yeah, we took over the ball, I think, with 9:50 on the clock, and we're already at the 3-minute mark.
Great, long, time-consuming drive. First and goal, here comes the power running. And no signal yet. Touchdown! I don't even know who got the ball. Riley Odell, I believe.
I believe it was Riley, right up the gut. So Riley Odell takes it in from about, a yard and a half out, 2 yards, and really pushed it through there. And the Vikings now up 6-0 with 2:49 remaining here in the half, and now a chance to go for 2. And like we said, that drive took, 7 minutes off the clock. And what a great way to culminate that drive here with this touchdown. And now a chance out of the wishbone here to see if we can put 2 more on the board.
Like to be able to put a 2-point conversion on to take an 8-0 lead. Heitschmidt under center, wishbone formation. Here comes Kyle Anderson running hard. Kyle Anderson won't make it. Great effort with the Spartan pursuit on that one. The 2-point run is no good. And with 2:49 left to go in the first quarter, Smoky Valley 6, Wichita Collegiate 0. Back right after this.
It's tough out there. Trying to stretch every paycheck a little further than the last one, it means cutting costs, and one of the best places to start is at the State Farm office of Anthony Hopkins in Ellsworth, because he'll do a free discount double check to make sure you're getting the car insurance discounts you deserve. Sometimes those can be up to 40%. So give State Farm agent Anthony Hopkins a call today, because being there to help keep more money in your pocket is why he's there. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
A good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The Vikings play here.
And welcome back to Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field, here on the campus of Bethany College, where Smoky Valley plays their football games. And what a great one we got brewing here tonight. Both teams have been running way more than passing. We expected to see Collegiate coming out, five wide, throwing the ball a little bit more, but they decided not to do it that way. And the result is Smoky Valley scoring with just 2:49 left to go in the second quarter as Raleigh Wilson ready to kick it off to the Collegiate Spartans. It's on the ground, bouncing, high bounce, picked up by one of their upbacks at the 30, 35, 40, a little bit of room up to the 35, 40, 45, and near midfield is number 32.
Is that DeVore again? Will DeVore.
DeVore has been kind of a stalwart so far here in their offense. He's kind of taken it, and maybe they've scouted the Vikings well and saw where some of those positions went. They're the first team I've ever seen to have only 4 guys up at the line of scrimmage. So they put 4 there and then put another extra person in the backfield for the returning part. So we'll see what happens. Collegiate now with 2 receivers to the near side, tight end to the far side, 2 backs in the backfield beside the quarterback. Trailing for the first time in this game. Now the tight end moves to the near side. A little bit strong to the near side. They're going to roll out. Quarterback looks like he's going to throw, and he's going to throw it in the flat to Morrow. And Morrow, there's a block in the back. Why wasn't that called? And he fumbles it out of bounds, but not before. What was the guy in the white hat looking? Kyle Anderson just got driven out of bounds from behind. Man.
I didn't see that much of it because I was trying to see if he was going to be able to stay in bounds and keep tiptoeing the line. And, right now, Coach Elliott and a number of our coaches are asking the white hat what he saw on that play, and he doesn't seem like he wants to talk about that a whole lot.
I don't think so either, but my goodness, that was a blatant block in the back because Kyle Anderson was going to tackle him in the backfield for a loss, and then all of a sudden he got tackled from behind. Quarterback looking out in the flat again, caught by DeVore. He's going to have about 6 or 7 yards on that carry. So now looking to see where we expected to see in the first part of the game was Collegiate putting 5 receivers out wide and let the quarterback read or run or do what he likes to do best.
And this really sets them up to be able to do more of that later. If they can start opening up the outsides here a little bit with the pass, it's going to cause us to have to be on our toes here and be ready for those draws that he wants to be able to run. And, with a 5 out, you can always run that quick draw up the middle.
Absolutely. Man in motion now from the far side to the near side. Going to be an option, though. Quarterback's going to keep it. He's going to be driven down very close to the first down. It's going to be 3rd down and maybe the length of a football to go. Inside the Vikings' 30-yard line at the 29. Oh, it is going to be 3rd down.
I want to thank First Bank Kansas, a proud sponsor of Smoky Valley Viking football. First Bank Kansas is your community-oriented, customer-focused bank where banking is made personal with locations in Lindsborg, Salina, and McPherson. Here we go, 3rd and 1 for Collegiate here at the 29-yard line.
One running back in the backfield with the quarterback, 2 far side, 1 near side, dropping back to pass, straight drop back pass, throwing right down the middle, intercepted by Kyle Anderson. He's up to the 20, 25, cuts it back up the middle, 30, 35, 40, and up to the 42-yard line. Kyle Anderson playing center field, leaped and picked it off and stopped the Collegiate drive.
Yeah,
excellent.
Kyle did a great job there. He was retreating into pass coverage. It looked like McNerney thought he had some of the slants or the seam right there down the middle, and Kyle just stepped right in there. I don't think he saw him at all. I don't even think it was a matter of him trying to throw it over. I don't think he saw him drifting into coverage. Kyle picks it off at the 15-yard line and is able to get the ball back up to the 41 for Smoky Valley.
Well, Smoky Valley with the 1st and 10, as long as it took to make that first drive, we don't have much time left to score. It was 1:10, but what it did was stop them from having a scoring opportunity. Wishbone formation for Smoky Valley. Right at the 41-yard line, right in line with our press box. Drive down the middle. There goes Lambert. Here comes the ball to Tim Lambert. It's a big one. Caught inside the 20 at the 15-yard line. Tim Lambert. They go for broke, and they get their prayer answered. Heitschmidt trying to hurry his team up. as the clock will start as soon as they get ready for play. But it takes a while in high school football to get that ready for play going.
Beautiful wheel route there. You had Timmy coming out of the backfield in the wishbone, and he just took off around the edge and was able to get their corner to bite too hard, and Brett leads him beautifully, ball down to the 16-yard line.
Tim Lambert, with that excellent speed, wasn't going to get caught. It was going to be if it was going to be underthrown. Here comes the wishbone formation. Here comes Kyle Anderson. He gets tripped up, lunges forward across the 15 to the 14, and we're in the Next Tech Wireless Red Zone once again.
Yes, Next Tech Wireless Red Zone, where you have lowest rates, flexible plans, exceptional customer service for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless.
Smoky Valley called a timeout. We'll step aside as well. 48 seconds left to go. Vikings leading 6-0. Back right after this.
Stop by Freddy's Frozen Custard before or after the game. Try Freddy's world-famous mouth-watering steak burgers or their delicious frozen custard. Freddy's in Salina, 2420 South 9th, next to Dick's Sporting Goods.
Farley's Bar and Grill in downtown Lindsborg is your game day headquarters. Come try their Monte Crisco or other specialty menu items. Farley's Bar and Grill, located at 101 North Main Street in Lindsborg, proudly supporting the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes.
This is a Rockingham broadcast of the Smoky Valley Vikings.
Well, when we left, there was 48 seconds. Now there's 52 seconds left on the clock. So,
well, back in time.
They didn't get the stop clock stopped quick enough. The Vikings have 2 timeouts remaining now. Zion Thomas, the wide receiver, to the near side. Zach Abel to the far side. I formation behind Heitschmidt. Tosses it to Anderson. Here comes an end around by Lambert. Here comes a penalty flag out. Lambert with a little bit of room. There's another penalty flag out. Another penalty flag out. Well, those over there are going to be blocking the back. That official certainly saw the block in the back by the Vikings on that one. I don't know what the first one was. So the first one might be holding. That might be even more. So that one will be from the 15-yard line. It'll back the Vikings up 10 yards. A little trickery there as Kyle Anderson took the pitch and then reversed it to Tim Lambert. But too many little infractions in the lane.
So holding and a block in the back, and they'll have to make that decision on which one they want to.
Well, they'll take the hold because it's farther back from the line of scrimmage. So from the 15-yard line, they'll take 10 yards from that place. So it'll be back to the 25. It'll be second down and 10 from the 25-yard line. 42 seconds now remain before halftime. So that's the step off. So 10-yard penalty against the Vikings. Their first of the night, I think.
I believe so.
So they'll have to get a little more trickery. Vikings don't. I mean, I know they practice some of that stuff going on. Go ahead.
That was our second. Remember, we did have the one offside on the pass play we attempted earlier. Had a little early movement. So, again, moving us back just a little bit right here. Time not really of an issue right now. The field's a bigger issue at this point in time at the 25.
Heitschmidt will go in shotgun formation with 3 receivers to the far side. Low snap. He goes to a one-on-one on this side to Lambert. It's way underthrown. Lambert, his intended target, and he got pressured a little bit once he threw it. And it'll be fall incomplete, third down and about 20.
Yeah, I think Brett was hit early there. He didn't have much of a chance to set his feet. They got through quickly. I think number 44 was through on that one. I think that's Grant Dieter. And once he got back through, it was a fade pattern there. A little, he jabbed in for a second and tried to hit that deep corner. And I don't think Brett had the chance to put any mustard on that and get it over there for him.
No, pretty tough plus when you get pressured that quickly. And Lambert's speed was going to get him open in the corner of the end zone, but we'll see what happens. Zion Thomas now wide to the near side. Zach Abel wide to the far side. I formation. Heitschmidt goes under center. It's a block looking down the field in the middle. Jacob Adams is wide open, and he overthrew him. Jacob Adams coming across about the 10-yard line. He was wide open. He'd have been able to tuck it and at least get the first down, if not 6 points. And Brett just overthrew him too much. And you're throwing across your body. It's a little harder to get that throw down pat. But Wow, what an exciting play.
A little bit of a tight end drag look. You had him right along the line on the right side, and he kind of comes out looking like he's going to block for a second, gets right behind that second wave, and you're right, he was wide open about the 8-yard line there.
Coach is going to call timeout. We'll keep this one right here as we want to not miss a thing if we don't get back in time. But the Vikings facing a 4th down and 20. Ball is at the 25-yard line. They got to get, I think it's actually 19. They got to get to the 6-yard line for a first down. So they still got plenty of time if they could get it to the first down marker. But probably, I'm assuming they'll just go for one in the end zone here and see what they can come up with. Jump ball.
Yeah, definitely going to have that opportunity to be able to do that. It's probably the best look here. Interesting, we didn't have much of a chance to talk about it, but little what do they call it? Trickeration. We don't do a lot of that. Most of our stuff is pretty bread and butter. Coach Lambert is pretty good about just continually running the same plays and doing what we need to do. But I thought it was a really well designed reverse. You had a couple of players on the far side of the field that had no idea where the ball was at on behalf of the Spartans. Unfortunately, just enough of their speed guys for us to have to block in the back. Otherwise, and the hold obviously here on this side. So again, if that doesn't happen, it's a really nice play and something good to keep in your back pocket down the road.
Absolutely. So 4th down and 19. Heitschmidt will send. Abel to the near side. Lambert as a flanker to the near side. Zion Thomas to the far side. Tight end. And now Collegiate will call a timeout. So back-to-back timeouts as the plot thickens here a little bit before halftime. And now try to decide what they're going to do with the formation the Smoky Valley came out in. Now they'll probably change their formation and go out something different again. But Collegiate's got some speed on their defensive line and their linebackers. So I know Kyle Anderson picked up a great block for Heitschmidt on that pass play earlier. So we don't go five wideouts very often. So I wouldn't expect us to do that. But who knows what might come about.
Some of our best looks a lot of times are the opportunities to, and one of the things that I would think about doing here is bringing Timmy in motion from one side to the other, from the strong side over here to the weak side, and then see if you can just get him on his horse and get to the end zone as quickly as possible. It's a no risk, no reward situation here. So all he has to do is put that ball deep in the corner and give Timmy the only chance to catch it. As you pointed out earlier, he's easily going to outrun everybody on the field. But again, we've got other guys out there too. Zion's had some great catches this year as well. We were able to find Jacob Adams down the seam just a little bit ago, and you got Zach Abel over here. They're going to put Timmy in the slot here, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Shotgun formation for Heitschmidt. We got a lot of movement before. No flag. Finally a flag came in. I thought, man, that was going to be on us, but neither one of the linesmen threw the flag. The flag came from the umpire. Back about 6 yards deep, so that's interesting.
False start on the offense.
I saw a lot of movement, but I don't know where it was. I'm not looking at the line. I'm looking at Heitschmidt most of the time. So I had another 5 yards to the 19 that we had. It's 4th and 24. Same formation. Zion Thomas and Abel are wide each side. Riley Odell is the back in the backfield with Heitschmidt. Heitschmidt going down deep. It's got Lambert. It's going to be incomplete right in the corner of the pylon on the goal line. And the Vikings will turn it over with 24.4 seconds to go. And you know that Collegiate's going to not give up easy. I would be very, very surprised if they take a knee here and just let this clock run out.
Nice play call by Coach there. They had two guys over here. I think it was Zach, or maybe it was Zion, and Tim, and basically what they ran there is the outside guy. Again, I think it was Zach. Outside guy's running a post, so he's trying to take that in, and we're trying to get a little rub there and see if we can get Timmy to the corner of the end zone. Unfortunately, we left that ball a little short. That's first down, Collegiate.
Three backs besides the backfield and the quarterback give it a handoff to Morrow, and they're just going to go up the middle. I thought maybe they'd spread it wide and take a shot down the field, but they have decided not to. And now with 14 seconds left, Collegiate not even going to worry about spotting it. Coach has already said, let's march it off the field. So halftime is here. Smoky Valley with the 6-0 lead. We'll be back to wrap up this first half for you. You're listening to Smoky Valley Football on 95.5 The Rock.
Area high school athletes now have a big home field advantage. The new Salina Regional Sports Medicine Clinic. Led by orthopedic surgeon Dr. Timothy Hawks, Salina Regional Sports Medicine offers comprehensive care, from education to prevent sports injuries, to performance, to the preservation and healing of damaged joints through surgery and rehabilitation. Fellowship trained in sports medicine orthopedic surgery, Dr. Hawks specializes in the diagnosis and
The Wildfires will be dancing tonight to the Top 40s Mix. Your Wildfires are Captain Danny Rogers, Captain Peyton Stevenson, Heather Schreiner, Taylor Barnes, Carissa Kindlesparger, Elena McMillan, and Carrick Elliott.
Like me challenge. It go like ooh, ooh, hey, hey, turn up. 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 Double tap to the right, double tap to the left. Swing your ass 3 times. Hey, do your dance, do your dance. Switch to the other side. Hey, buddy hop to the right, buddy hop to the left. Go to the right 2 times. Hey, look to the left, feel it in your chest. Now go on, break it down.
Awesome job, Wildfires. Way to go, ladies. For any of you interested, Holcomb is up 26-0 on Colby in the second quarter.
6th place team finish, and couldn't be prouder of Holly and all her team.
Yeah, they did such a great job this year. And a number of young runners who really did step up and do a nice job, and some veteran runners as well. But just in general, the spirit and the attitude of that team, what a great group, and what a great finish to the season. And the sky's the limit as far as those guys are concerned here in the years to come, as well as they've got a good nucleus of guys coming back next year as well.
And gals. So they're going to be stronger. They didn't make it to the state tournament, but they are certainly competitors as well. Well, the Vikings got the opening ball first. Collegiate won the toss and elected to defer to the second half, so they'll get the first possession here in the third quarter. But neither team could do anything. It was basically a draw after one quarter, both in plays, yardage, and score, as neither team cracked the goal line in the first half. But then the Vikings put together a long drive in the mid-second quarter, and that drive culminated on a Riley Odell 2-yard run. The 2-point conversion by Anderson was no good, and with 2:49 left, the Vikings had a 6-0 lead, and the Vikings, that's the only scoring that happened. But probably one of the other big plays in the first half was Kyle Anderson's interception, as Collegiate was driving down inside the 25-yard line. Quarterback McNerney never saw Kyle Anderson, and Kyle just drifted back and picked the ball off about the 15-yard line and returned it up to near the 30. So that really stopped their drive, and look what was their probably best drive of the first half as well.
Yeah, they really got to clicking on that drive, and it was a quick drive, like you pointed out. Time was running out here in the half as the Vikings scored, I believe, with 2:49 left on the clock then, and they were having to push the ball up the field. And I think the pick took place somewhere around a minute 10, minute 5, somewhere in there, and that really quelled that drive. Really quelled, I think, the momentum that seemed to be maybe switching into that passing game, because you had just mentioned here's what we expected from them, this 5 out, throw it out, shoot it out, and all of a sudden we have an interception and we're going the other way with it, and got all the way down here to have a chance to put some more points on the board here to end the half, which I think really would have swayed this game into our direction into the half for sure.
Couple of penalties there on that reverse play that we probably don't run often enough to get a good handle on how you run it against good competition, but we got faced with a 3rd and 4th down and forever, and tried to get a play, but Collegiate did the right thing and not trying to bust out a big play, and they were smart enough to let the clock run out before halftime, so that ends up being our score, 6-0. You got some stats for us?
I sure do. Wichita Collegiate came in here tonight averaging 375 yards of total offense. They leave the first half with 63 yards of total offense against the Vikings. Only 19 plays in those 63 yards, averaging 3.3 yards per play. McNerney was 3 for 4 throwing the football tonight in the first half for 26 yards. He did throw the 1 interception to Kyle Anderson on their final drive of the half, or the final long drive of the half, as they had the ball back for one more play before they went in at half. The only receptions here tonight for them so far, Grant Morrow has 1 grab for 14 yards. Will DeVore has 2 grabs for 12 yards. Rushing the football tonight, not much more for them. They have 37 yards on 15 carries. This is a team that comes in averaging about 180 yards on the ground, and the Vikings hold them to 37 total yards. And just doing a great job with it as well. Running the football tonight for them, Cody McNerney, their leading rusher, has 8 carries for 22 yards, only 2.8 yards per carry. Grant Morrow, 5 carries for 11 yards, and Will DeVore, 2 carries for 4 yards. They were penalized 1 time in that first half for 5 yards, punted once for 38 yards, 3 first downs in the first half for Wichita Collegiate, 1 of those via the run, 2 of those via the pass. They are 1 for 5 on 3rd down, and 1 for 2 on 4th down. The Vikings, meanwhile, 146 yards of total offense on 32 plays, so they outplayed them by 13 here in the first half, 4.6 yards per play. Brett Heitschmidt goes 2 for 6, 50 yards here in the first half. Moved the ball relatively well in the air. He did do a nice job hitting Tim Lambert for the 1 long pass. Tim does have 2 grabs for 50 yards here in the first half. Running the football, again, the Vikings staple. They have 96 yards on the ground on 26 attempts. The yardage is harder to come by tonight, definitely at 3.7 yards per rush. Leading the way tonight, Kyle Anderson, 14 carries, 64 yards, adding to his team leading number. He has 4.6 yards per carry. Court Elliott, 7 carries for 19 yards at 2.7 yards a carry. And again, as Don pointed out earlier, that running up the middle is very hard to come by throughout the evening. Tim Lambert, 3 carries for 10 yards, 3.3 per carry. And Riley Odell, 2 carries, 3 yards. But more importantly, he also has the 1 touchdown on the night. Meanwhile, the Vikings had 3 penalties in the first half. Very unlike us. 3 penalties, 20 yards. We did have 1 punt by Riley Odell, 34 yards. That was on our first drive. Overall, 9 first downs for the Vikings compared to those 3 for Wichita Collegiate. 7 of those via the run, 1 of those via the pass, and 1 coming as a result of a penalty. We are 2 for 7 on 3rd down and 2 for 5 on 4th down. The Vikings have had the ball for 13 minutes and 37 seconds, while Wichita Collegiate had it for 9 minutes, 59 seconds. Leading tacklers tonight, Lane Schrog has 3.5 tackles, 3 of those solo. Ethan Wampler also with 3.5. Tim Lambert and Riley Odell both with 2.5. Conrad Peterson, 2. Carson Windholtz, Zach Abel, Jacob Adams, Kyle Anderson, Court Elliott, and Josh DeAndrea all getting in on a tackle as well. that wraps up our stats for the half.
I forgot to write down the total yards for us.
Total yards for us, 146. So 146 to 63. So, offensively, we've obviously showed a dominance over what they've done, but not necessarily a dominance over the game, as both teams' defenses, I think, have responded extremely well tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a grind, and the momentum monkey was on our back after that Kyle Anderson interception with that big 50-yard play from Brett Heichschmidt to Tim Lambert. So a couple of big plays. Kyle's gotten a couple of pretty decent yards, but they've held him pretty much in check. But still 64 yards on bruising carries. So it's been a fun game to watch. And again, our score is 6-0 in favor of the Vikings. But Collegiate is going to score some points. So we'll talk more about that. We'll also talk more about the Salina Ortho impact performance of the first half. So we'll take a timeout. We come back. We'll let you know who's going to be the winner of that. We'll also update you with some scores from around the area, including a couple of league opponents, Nickerson and Kingman, both with leads. So we'll tell you what those scores are here after this timeout. You're listening to Smoky Valley Football, back right after this.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by the Bank of Tesket. Generations of confidence, relationships for life. With locations in Lincoln, Salina, Tesket, and Lindsborg. The Bank of Tesket. Member FDIC.
We're the Bank of Tesket.
The Quarterback Club of Lindsborg is proud to support athletics in the Smoky Valley. Join us each Tuesday at 7 a.m. in the Bethany College cafeteria to hear from all the Vikings and Swedes sports coaches.
Yeah, sure, the weather may be enjoyable now, but those brisk icy winds aren't far away. Keep Jack Frost out of your garage, out of your home, and, most importantly, out of your pockets. Let Overhead Door eliminate those pesky air leaks with a cold weather tune-up for the biggest opening of your home, your garage door. This month, Overhead Door Company is offering a 20% discount on all top, side, and bottom seals with installation. Overhead Door Company of North Central Kansas in Salina and McPherson. Online at odcnck.com.
Auburn Pharmacy is your local hometown Lindsborg pharmacy, located at 216 North Harrison Street, proudly supporting the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes.
People's Bank and Trust takes pride in its heritage of service to the customer and features 12 locations in central Kansas. People's Bank and Trust, a proud supporter of Smoky Valley and Bethany College. Member FDIC.
Direct Access Physical Therapy is available at Lindsborg Community Hospital. Direct Access means you can schedule an appointment for PT without a doctor's order. Sports rehab, post-joint replacement, back pain. Schedule an appointment for evaluation and treatment. Mark, Robin, Nikki, and Derek will get you on your way to better health and activity. Call 785-227-3308 and ask for physical therapy at Lindsborg Community Hospital.
You're listening to Smoky Valley Vikings Athletics.
And welcome back. Smoky Valley enjoying a 6-0 lead. That's not a lot of jump up and down about, because you certainly would like to have more points, but it's a close game. It's everything we thought it was going to be, and a great half for the Smoky Valley Vikings. What do you got for some other scores, Doug?
Well, other score-wise, it looks like our league scores here. We've got Kingman up 14-7 on Scott City at this point. Nickerson up 20-6 on Clay Center. What did you have so far, Don? Any?
I haven't really anybody. 21-7 was the last score I saw against El Saline and Sedgwick. I know that's a big game because Sedgwick was undefeated last week, El Saline was undefeated until they ran into Smith Center, and then Smith Center handled them very well, and then they were going back to El Saline or Sedgwick, a team that they beat earlier in the year. So, kind of a little bit of a surprise to get see that score in favor of Sedgwick, 21-7. McPherson up early in the big game up in McPherson and Bueller. They're up 7-0. This last score I got, but
I think you mentioned a soccer score today for McPherson as well.
Yeah, they fell 3-1 to Bishop Miege. Bishop Miege is year in and year out, sport in and sport out, always vying for state championships. So McPherson got to go to the Final Four. They fell to 3-1 to Bishop Miege, but see if they can prove that they belong there and see if they can they'll play for third tomorrow. So best of luck to the McPherson soccer team for their tomorrow matchup.
Some other scores from 4A Division 2. Topeka Hayden up 28-0 on Prairie View in the second quarter. Burlington up 8-7 on Columbus in the second quarter. Correct me if any of these are repeats of what you had. Holton and Baldwin, of course, played last night. Holton wins that game 9-8 over Baldwin, so that would have been quite a game to see. Frontenac up 7-0 on Girard. We already mentioned the Kingman and Nickerson, or Kingman Scott City and Nickerson Clay Center score. And then Holcomb up 7-0 on Colby in the first quarter was the last score I had there. It is time now to look at our Impact Performance, brought to you by the Salina Regional Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Clinic, offering comprehensive sports medicine care from education to preventing sports injuries to sports performance and preservation and healing of damaged joints through surgery and rehabilitation. Dr. Timothy Hawks and his team of physical therapists, athletic trainers, and physician assistants are dedicated to providing the highest quality of sports medicine care. Not quite the offense we are used to seeing in the first half from the Vikings, but what do you think, Don?
Well, I think it's got to go to Kyle Anderson. He's roughed up their defense for 14 carries and 64 yards. He also had the interception that he returned for and stopped the drive. So I don't know how many tackles he had, but he's been in on just about everything. And so we'll give the Impact Performance to Kyle Anderson.
I agree with you. Another great half. You know, the only other option I probably would have said was our entire defense. We went through a whole half against a very volatile collegiate offense and gave up 63 yards of total offense. You got to feel really good about that in the locker room. But at the same time, like you mentioned, you also can't feel too good because you're only up 6-0.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of work to do here in the second half, and you got a lot of things to take care of, and we are going to have to be on our toes for anything they bring to the table.
And you know they'll open up a little bit because they haven't shown anything deep, anything really impressive on their offensive passing. So we know we'll see probably a different collegiate team here in the second half. We'll take our final timeout, a 1-minute timeout, Jared. We'll be back with the second half kickoff right after this.
Area high school athletes now have a big home field advantage. The new Salina Regional Sports Medicine Clinic, led by orthopedic surgeon Dr. Timothy Hawks. Salina Regional Sports Medicine offers comprehensive care, from education to prevent sports injuries, to performance, to the preservation and healing of damaged joints through surgery and rehabilitation. Fellowship trained in sports medicine orthopedic surgery, Dr. Hawks specializes in the diagnosis and treatment of ligament, cartilage, and meniscus injuries. He and his team of physical therapists, athletic trainers, and his physician assistants support 5 area high schools, providing the highest quality, most timely care to athletes of every sport. In the school training facility, on the field, or in our clinic, we're ready wherever and whenever you need us. From high school athletes to weekend warriors, we'll help you get back in the game and keep you in the game. Salina Regional Sports Medicine, the leader in comprehensive sports medicine.
This is a Smoky Valley Vikings broadcast.
And welcome back to Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field, where the start of the second half is about to take place. And looks like there's a flag over there blowing the U.S. flag over here by the scoreboard. Isn't doing much, but there's a flag over there behind the visitor stand. And I don't know if that's something they brought with them or not, but it's kind of showing a little south wind right now. And the Vikings will kick off with the wind kicking from south to north. Well, Raleigh Wilson will be doing the honors. Collegiate will have the ball to open up. They chose to defer and take the ball in the opening in the second half, so see how this all works out. The play clock, you're waiting for the play clock or the game clock to run down to 0.
Do want to remind everybody again, if you are listening at home and you want to grab your computer or device, you can watch this game on smokyvalley.live.org. Mike Rose does such a fantastic job broadcasting the game, and was excited tonight because he was going to add the play clock into the mix as well. So always trying to push and make it a little bit better every time we do it.
Late night in the Valley. Basketball right around the corner.
Late night in the Valley scheduled for November the 17th. Hopefully we're playing that night, so we also have an alternative date of November the 18th if we can get the Vikings to continue playing into the playoffs.
High end over end kick going to be taken by DeVore at the 25, up right in the middle, 30-35, and tripped up as he gets across the 35 up to about the 37-yard line. Among those in on the tackle was number 24, Trey Kennedy. helping with that trip up. Now the Vikings got to see what they can do here. Boy, you'd love to get a 3 and out, but anything would be good just to get your back in the game flow, back into hard-nosed football. One receiver wide each way is all they'll start with. Collegiate. That same, I don't know if you call it a shotgun or a pistol formation, but it's about 3 yards behind the ball, 4, with 2 backs beside him, 1 beside, 1 behind. Looks like they're going to go on an option run, and McNerney's going to keep it himself. He's tackled and then driven out of bounds after a gain of about 6, maybe 7 yards. So a nice pickup. Now they're going to give him all the way up to the 45-yard line. They're going to give him 8 yards on that carry. He maybe decided, I've given it to too many people too often. I'm going to take a little bit more of this responsibility myself.
You know, he's only 6'1". I mean, that's relatively tall, but he's a really nice low center of gravity. So once he gets around the corner and gets hit, if you don't wrap him up, he does a nice job regaining his balance. And like there, was able to pick up a few more yards until he was finally driven out.
Two running backs on each side and a back behind McNerney. And hand it off to Morrow. No, he's going to keep it himself and try to go outside. He's got nowhere. Good defense by the Vikings that time. Turning the play inside was Jacob Adams. His responsibility was make sure that play goes outside, or doesn't go outside, and very close to the first down, but I believe it's going to be short.
Might have to give an assist on the tackle there to Gabe Fisher from Wichita Collegiate, because McNerney was trying to get through and he was not moving forward, and it was very difficult for him, and that allowed some Vikings to come over and finish that play off. And you're right, I think we're going to be just a little short.
Yeah, a yard short. It's going to be, ball is right at the 46-yard line. They got to get clearly to the 47. It seemed like it was a little bit too long to make that decision. McNerney now is going to hand out. Oh, ball's loose, fumble down the play, and there's a flag coming in on the play. Well, that flag came flying from way back in the backfield. I don't know what that was, but the ball came loose, and it goes back across the 45. And we'll see what that would be in the neighborhood of holding. I wouldn't think it'd be anything on the Vikings right there.
I think it looked like one of the Viking players maybe saw the loose ball and started to go to the ground for it. And in the process of blocking, it almost looked like maybe one of the collegiate players was trying to continue his block and then kind of swirled around him and got that hold.
I think they'll step it off, but it'd be tempting to not take it and have it a 4th down and 3. But you almost have to take that 10-yard penalty. Coach hasn't decided quite yet. He's still talking it over with the official. He wants to know where the ball is going to be. And it's going to be back at the 44-yard line. So it'd be, if they take the penalty, I think the penalty will go from that spot too. So you'd move him back 10 yards. I would move him back. You know, coach is going to say move him back. He wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to give up a 4th down in an automatic punt situation.
Yeah, but hard to do with a team that passes the ball like they do. I mean, they picked him up in bursts there in that drive right before the half. And so, you know they're going to go 5 wide here. You know they're going to try to stretch the field on you. And our defense has been very, very sound. But you're right. It's you can tell Coach Lambert took quite a while to think that through and process. So it's going to be a chance for a big stop here.
1 back in the backfield with the quarterback, 3 to the far side. Rolling to the far side is McNerney, paced by Peterson. And now he's going to try to tuck and run. He's going to try to get back outside near side. Kyle Anderson's got a bead on him. Going to heave it down the field and caught. Somehow found a receiver downfield. I'm not sure how he could find him, but the receiver was number 17.
Jacob Chud catching the ball down the field. And he actually left him short. He ran back and forth there about 2 to 3 times, and Kyle had him in his sights. Just shows you what a player McNerney is to be able to avoid that tackle, heave that ball down the field, and like you mentioned, Chug makes that catch, and I think he was about as surprised as anybody that McNerney got it to him, and he falls down there at the 23, but it's a huge first down for Wichita Collegiate here on this drive.
Unbelievable that the ball went to the far side, back to the near side, and nobody on the line got downfield. That's usually an automatic penalty. Somebody in the offensive line goes downfield. Here McNerney now has got a stoppage of play. The umpire has called 2 or 3 different motion penalties on both teams. Here's a 5-yard step off on Collegiate that comes, neither one of the line referees are calling that, and the umpire's calling it. So it must be somebody interior line. Maybe the center's doing something with the ball. I don't know what he's seeing, but
we'll take it.
I certainly didn't see it. And when they called that penalty on us, I didn't see it either. I saw some motion, but I certainly didn't know where it was coming from.
And you're right, it may be the center just slightly sliding that ball there, and he's seeing that and recognizing it, but he's definitely got his eyes on it.
Empty backfield on this play for McNerney. Dropping back to pass, looking in the flat now, looking down across the middle, and that's going to be short. That bounced to the receiver.
I think somebody's going to overrule this, I hope.
Everybody in the stadium except for the official had the call and had the line back there, and he said he caught it. Oh my goodness!
That ball clearly bounced right before him. Again.
Oh my goodness!
It was at his back shoulder, and he really had to go down to the ground and get it, but it clearly bounced up. Too bad it's not the NFL or college. We'd be throwing that challenge flag and going and looking under the hood for a little bit, but
my goodness! And why no official overruled him? Because he had his back to the play, he couldn't see the ball come down. Well, it's 2nd down and 8 for Collegiate. They got a 7-yard pickup on that pass play. The bounce pass. We'll call it the bounce pass play. See how much difference it makes. McNerney running out to the near side, looking to throw, still looking to throw, and now he's going to throw it out of bounds. DeVore was the intended target, but he was well covered by Kyle Anderson, and in the end zone was a couple of other receivers, but they looked like they had 4 Vikings around them there, so no play. But boy, would that be nice to be facing 3rd and 15 now rather than 3rd and 8.
Yeah, and you made great comments in the pregame show talking to Coach Lambert today as well about how really strong our defensive backs have become over the year. That was one of the areas that, not really that we were questioning during the early part of the season, but an area that had struggled last year a little bit. And they've done such a great job, and that was evidence there on that last play. Everybody covered down the field. He had nobody to throw to.
Empty backfield again. McNerney's going to go with a quick slant. Up and in, almost intercepted. In and out of the hands of DeVore, and then almost in the hands of Lane Schrog, but I think this official is going to call it incomplete this time. Lane almost came away with that ball after it went through DeVore's arms. Now you're looking at a really big play that would have been 4th down and 15, and now it's 4th down and 8. They got to get to the 13-yard line.
4th and 8.
Empty backfield once again, 3rd play in a row. They've gone total spread. McNerney now is going to have to pass it. He probably isn't going to have that much room on his own. That one bounces clearly incomplete. Clearly a Vikings fans that have said no more on that one as they take over on downs. First Collegiate gets a couple of first downs, but then they get the ball back, and 1st and 10 Vikings on the 21-yard line. So a drive that ends in a 4 and out.
So the bounce pass doesn't end up coming back to hurt us. That's good. You definitely don't ever like to see any team come back with a situation like that where it was a tough call and it doesn't bounce your way. Vikings get the stop, take over at the 21, and probably a healthy dose of the wishbone again.
Here comes Riley Odell pounding his way up, and he'll get up to near the 24-yard line.
Riley Odell on the carry.
McNerney in on the tackle to finish off, and that's what I say is going to wear that quarterback out because he's in on most every tackle. DeVore and him tandem on that tackle, but when you play quarterback and you got to run from your safety spot to try to get up to that tackle, he's playing 7-8 yards deep, so you're running 7-8 yards just to get into the play. And then working hard after that. 2nd down and 8 for Smoky Valley. Vernon handed off to Anderson. He tries to get up now, cuts it back up the middle, and he gets run into a brick wall. He's up near the 29-yard line, so he'll pick up about 4, maybe 5 on the play.
Tackle by number 5.
Looking like he was going to go outside, cut it back in, had a little seam there, but boy, somebody right. I'm sure that was McNerney that rocked him from that tackle.
Yeah, and they do such a nice job, like you mentioned earlier. Their quickness at being able to flow to the ball does not allow a lot of things to get to the outside. And so Kyle made a really good decision there to cut that back in. Probably was able to get 3 or 4 more yards there than he would have if he had stayed on the outside.
3rd down and a long 2 for Smoky Valley. Here comes Anderson again. He's got first down yardage and more up to near the 35-yard line. Punishing run by Kyle Anderson. DeVore on the tackle along with Charbonneau. That is taking its toll on the Collegiate Spartans. Score is still 6-0 though. Lincoln would certainly like to, wouldn't this be nice to put about a 7 or 8 minute drive together here and take almost all of this rest of this third quarter.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. We didn't get our 3 and out. But we still did get a very, very good stop from our defense after Collegiate moved the ball down the field very well.
Wishbone formation behind Heichschmidt, and there's a stoppage of play. And Collegiate's calling the defensive coordinator must be out on the field all the way out to past the numbers to talk to his team about what he didn't like about that lineup. So we'll take a timeout as well. 7:17 left to go, third quarter. Smoky Valley still leading 6-0. Back right after this.
At Mocha's, they get it. They understand your morning cup of coffee is more than just coffee. They know that your favorite coffee drink is the only way to make your day flow. Fresh coffee, lattes, sandwiches, and more. Mocha's with 2 Salina locations, 916 East Crawford and 2424 South 9th Street next to Dick's Sporting Goods.
Lindsborg Community Hospital and Family Healthcare Clinic, supporting concussion safety and impact testing for all athletes who call the Smoky Valley home.
The Vikings play here.
It's playoff football time, and every play matters. So Collegiate looked like he was mad at his quarterback, number 5, McNerney. He was the one that he was going to. And I don't know if he was supposed to call some kind of a stunt or something he didn't see. You don't know, but he was certainly. You don't see a defense call timeout and just after they give up a first down very often.
Might be a timeout they need later as well.
Yeah, no question about that. Here comes Riley Odell running hard, getting up to the 42-yard line, where he gets down, taken down after a gain of 2. Second down and 8 for Smoky Valley.
Gain of 2.
Taking yardage and what they'll give you. It's just one of those games where you can't get anything big going on, but you're just consistently pounding away at the defense. Kingman up 14-7 on Scott City. Scott City, and aren't they number 1 ranked in the Class 4A?
I think they're very, very good.
Here comes Anderson running. He's across the 40, lunging up to the 42, maybe the 43-yard line. Well, he'll leave the Vikings with a third down and 2. Ball, yeah, right at the 43-yard line. So you just got to get to the 45, so third down and 2 for Smoky Valley. That would be a big game. You got to watch also Holcomb and Colby if you find that score anywhere. See what the update on that might be. That's the Vikings' next opponent should they win this game. Wishbone formation for Heichschmidt. Third down and 2. Here comes Court Elliott, and he's not going to make it. Very, very close, but I don't think he got it. They're going to spot him just short of the 45-yard line. Official right up there, and it's about 6 inches short of the first down. So tough call here for Coach Lambert and what he'll do with this. I would expect him to go for it right here. Push your team to where it needs to be. Get that last. He moved the ball back about 6 inches, and the crowd let him out. This crew is pretty interesting in their administration of the game. I don't recognize any of them. I haven't seen this crew. You usually tell by the white hat it's somebody you know have known for a few years maybe. But a big fourth down for Smoky Valley in their own territory, albeit the 45-yard line. Here comes Kyle Anderson with midfield. There goes a penalty flag. That might not be good. The ball comes loose. Collegiate says they have the ball. The ball came loose late.
Flags on the play.
I haven't seen any signal yet. A little bit of question about what's going on here. First, where's the penalty flag coming from? Yeah, they say it's a fumble, and Smoky Valley has given it up. Collegiate's come up with the fumble. Smoky Valley got the first down. Collegiate's celebrating, but nobody, the officiating crew hasn't said a word yet.
Obviously appears it's going to be a holding call or something on us here, and obviously made some question there. The ball looked like it did come out. There was obviously a scrum down there looking for the ball, but some of our linemen coming off the field here wondering exactly what took place out there. So still doing a little bit of talking down here, and almost looks like they want to try to put some yardage on here against us, but I wouldn't think that would be a possibility here, would you?
No, I wouldn't think so, but I'm not a game administrator. Now they're saying that it's Smoky Valley ball. Zach Abel's coming back saying it's Smoky Valley ball. There's a lot of indecision here going on back and forth. Yeah, several players of Smoky Valley are saying it's still our ball. What is the man in the white hat going to say?
I'm glad he has a mic today. That's going to help.
We had 2 penalties on the play. We had a hold on the offense We had a face mask on the defense. By rule, they offset, replay the down.
Replay fourth down. Well, that's by rule. That sounds like an NFL. They're doing from the NFL.
So it was a hold. We were called for the hold. There was a face mask called on Collegiate, and so, as he pointed out, that negates both the play altogether, and that puts the Vikings back here at 4th and a half a yard. Do you think decision time again, or you go to work here again and go?
You go right for it again. You had that first down picked up by 5 or 6 yards. I don't think there's any question about what you're going to do. The only change I would do is I might give it to Brett Heitzman myself. There's not much, right? There's just one guy in the middle of the line. Here comes Riley Odell pounding forward, and he's going to get it. He's across the 45 to the 46-yard line. So a bruising first down after all that stuff. I knew there was something going on in that decision of those officials, but they never ever signaled anything else. So you're right. It's a good thing he has a microphone, and it's a good thing that that penalty was offsetting and gave us another chance at 4th down.
And you know, the one good thing is they didn't make a call. They did talk it through. They did make sure they had everything taken care of before they made any announcement. And even though we wanted to know and everybody else wanted to know, they got it all worked out before they decided to make the call and made the correct call.
Collegiate started celebrating, and then all of a sudden the Viking players started celebrating. Here comes Kyle trying to get outside. Gets through another tackle, and he's going to stay on his feet. He can go all the way 20, 15, 10, 5, and run out of bounds at the 87-yard line. Kyle Anderson, how did he keep his balance?
There's a little bit of laundry on the field back here at the 48-yard line. Came out early and most likely is going to be a hold against the Vikings, and that will bring this back.
Holding Smoky Valley as Kyle did his darndest to get through. Oh, this is what I would call unsportsmanlike. Collegiate player goes over there and steps off 10 yards against the Vikings without anybody else around. Number 44, remember that number.
That is Dieter, Grant Dieter.
Yep. Now they'll mark it off from the play went through the line of scrimmage about the 48-yard line, so they'll back it up. Well, that's not 15 yards.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
Looks like the call will probably come from where the penalty was, the flag was thrown. But you're right, Kyle did a great job. That's one of those plays we've been looking for, is a chance to wear him down, and finally break through. And Kyle took it all the way down to about the 7-yard line. If it were not for the penalty, Vikings would have been looking at 1st and goal. Instead, we're back here looking at about 1st and 20.
1st and
18, maybe.
Yeah, we've got to get to the 44-yard line on the other side. Here comes Lambert. Lambert's going to get wrapped up. Boy, their team pursuit of tackling is just outstanding. They don't have 78 Copeland is their big guy inside there. They don't have anybody else that has any big size. This is one of those teams where I really thought we would dominate the line of scrimmage a little more so we could run downhill a little more. But give those littler guys credit. They are tough, and they are running in. Charbonneau, what is he? He's 215, but we've handled most of our defensive lines so well that
I think they're really athletic. I think they slide quickly off the ball. I think they move quickly into our guys. We've been able to hold them up, but their linebackers and, like you mentioned, their safety gets up there quickly too.
Looking down at 18, here comes Riley Odell. No, it's Heitzman that's got it. He's up here in midfield with a nice pickup by Brett Heitzman. First time he's called his number all night to the 49-yard line. Great running by Brett Heitzman. He's faked that run several times and always given it off. That was Riley Odell, and Riley was only going to get about 2 yards on that one.
That's what happens. You know, we've got 4 runners that do such a great job of running the football, and you're never really sure where they're going to put it. And like you said, Brett has not carried it once tonight. And they've been keying on that midsection so well, and he was able to get to the edge here and pick up a nice game.
They're down in 7-4 Smoky Valley. All just short of midfield, wishbone formation. Here comes Kyle Anderson trying the outside left side. He's trying to get through, and he's going to get the 50-yard line, maybe just across.
Number 5, Kyle
He gets wrapped up, team tackled there again. Once you get up there, that's probably what happened on that other carry. He got up there and got his arms away from his body a little bit, and they got the ball loose on that would-be fumble. It was offset on penalties, and now Coach Lambert has decided he's going to kick the football away. 4th down and 5, a long 5, short 6. So all of that, the Vikings will end up punting the ball away.
Back to punt.
Odell standing back about his 37-yard line. The returner is that number 6, Egan. Punt is away. A good kick, hard kick over the head of. And Egan's going to pick it up. No, he's going to let it go in. The Vikings are trying to get it down there. Tim Lambert trying to get it pinned before it goes into the goal line, but it crosses, and Collegiate will have it 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. 2:16 is all that's left in this third quarter. Vikings still lead 6-0.
Again, I want to thank First Bank Kansas as a proud sponsor of Smoky Valley High School Vikings football. First Bank Kansas is your community-oriented, customer-focused bank where banking is made personal with locations in Lindsborg, Salina, and McPherson. Again, it has been a hard-fought third quarter, just as it was a hard-fought first half. Both teams keep going back and forth at each other, and they're doing such a phenomenal job defensively. Vikings now at 43 plays, 189 yards, while Collegiate is sitting at 27 plays and 120 yards. So, again, I'd say the big difference right now is just the 6 points on the board for Smoky Valley.
2 receivers near side, one in motion from the far side to the near side, sets up its tight end. McNerney rolling, looking like he's going to pass. Now he tucks the ball. He's got some running, and there goes a flag. They'll be bringing this one back. That'll be a holding on Collegiate. Update on a score that we were looking for. Thank you, Jared. 33-8. Holcomb ahead at halftime. You maybe said that one I didn't hear.
The last one I had was the 7-0 or 8-0 on that game, so that's a good pickup.
So Laundry out on the field for Collegiate this time. That'll put them back. There you go, thank you. That holding him pointed at the black, and Collegiate's already backed up to near the 10-yard line. The flag came out about the 25 or 26-yard line, so they'll step it off 10 yards from there.
Scott City is also tied up Kingman now. It's 14-all. Scott City Kingman, and still 20-6 Nickerson on top of Clay Center.
They're going to go back.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Well, they're going to go from the first down yardage. The flag was actually out here. Maybe just couldn't throw it far enough. They'll go back to the 10-yard line. So it's going to be first down and 20 for Collegiate. Once we get everything set, he winds the clock, and we're ready to go. They'll send 3 receivers to the near side. The back still remains
tended to be the rollout here every time.
The back remains in the backfield now. The tight end moves from the weak side to the strong side. Rolling out, now dropping back, looking down the middle, still looking. He's going to go out in the flat. Caught and turned up field is number 6 on that carry. That's Egan.
Colin Egan. He's knocked out of bounds by number 5,
tackled by
Kyle Anderson.
Schrog and Anderson. We pick up 11 on that. Second down and 9 after all that. Minute 50 left in the third quarter. Vikings on top 6-0. 3 receivers to the far side for Collegiate. McNerney letting his lineman and his one back in the backfield know what he's calling. Looks over the Viking defense. Now he moves the tight end again to the far side. He's going to roll out, rolling out, still rolling. Now he's going to try to tuck and run and get outside. He's going to be driven out by Kyle Anderson for maybe a yard gain on the play. Good effort by Kyle to get in position from his linebacker spot.
Number 5, Kyle Anderson.
And that will be, give him 2 yards on the play up to the 23-yard line. So it's third down and a long 7 for the Collegiate Spartans. 1:43 as the clock stops as McNerney went out of bounds. 3 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. Late third quarter action. Playoff winner advances. Loser season's over. Dropping back to pass, looking down. Now he goes out in the flat again. Egan catches it again. He's driven out right away. Short of the first down. It's going to be 4th down and a yard. Big time decision for Coach Gear. And he's not going to make that decision in this part of the field. He's going to punt it away. So a great job by Smoky Valley after another 3 and out by Collegiate.
Again, another one of those situations. I know it is deep here, but you mentioned before their quarterback is their punter. Definitely need to make sure a 4th and 1 or 1.5 situation here that we pay attention to him and make sure this isn't a fake of some kind.
Absolutely. A high snap, and he is going to fake it. He is going to fake it. Is the Viking defense going to get there? No. He'll get the first down yardage. So A gutsy call. I was suspecting that all along when I saw him warm up as punter and then go back when they punted early.
That's good.
That's a gutsy call, and it's one that may pay dividends for him. We'll see.
In a close game like this, every one of those little plays comes up big. You know, we thought maybe the bounce pass, as you called it down here, was going to be one of those plays that bounced against us, and we were able to get the stop. Now it's going to be up to our Viking defense again to remain strong here and try to get the stop after the fourth down conversion.
I don't know what the delay is.
Looks
here.
like we have a chain issue. Looks like it's tangled up or broken on the other side of the field there.
Our chains need to be repaired.
Chain repair. Again, I want to thank our sponsors that help us with our portion of the broadcast, including Gallant Tire and Auto, Dower Welding, Bank of Tesket, People's Bank and Trust, Phoenix Restoration, Lindsberg Family Dental, Dr. Darrell Loader, Smoky Valley Chiropractic, C&L Heating and Cooling, C. Mari Loader for your Smoky Valley real estate needs, R&R Excavating, Scott's, Viking Auto, Harry Malary, and Art Shirt for their sponsorship. As we still haven't got the chain resolved. Anybody with some duct tape?
Some quick stats right now. The Vikings have run 43 plays, a total offense for 189 yards. We are 2 for 6 in the air. We have not thrown the ball since the first half. Again, Kyle Anderson leading the way for us right now, 19 carries for 88 yards. On the other hand, Collegiate, 31 plays, 143 yards. They have 93 through the air and 50 on the ground. Of course, Cody McNerney, he is 7 of 11 for 93 yards. And, of course, that one pick earlier in the game by Kyle Anderson. And McNerney's still their leading rusher with 13 carries and 35 yards. So he's doing what he does. He's just not doing it as well as he usually is able to do it. The Vikings have done a nice job corralling him a little bit, not allowing him to get away from him. Quick score, I did notice earlier, it looks like Little River was defeated this evening. I think the score was 27-20 by South Central. So Little River eliminated from the playoffs as well.
3 receivers to the far side for quarterback McNerney. Now, again, he puts that man in motion and sets as a tight end on the left side, which is the strong side. He's going to tuck it and run. Looks like maybe pass, but he's going to run. He's got some yardage, and he's across the 45 up to about the 47-yard line. So the quarterbacks that seem to get worn down in the fourth quarter, late third quarter, early fourth quarter, McNerney is not one of them at this point yet, as he's suddenly come up big here, and a couple of big fourth down play and now a big first down carry.
They've really had a lot of success here with this trips to one side, bringing the tight end in motion. They're not running it on this play. It looks like they've got Dubs to the left and a single receiver here to the right. But they've been getting a nice wedge and creating a nice seam for him to run through.
Dropping back to pass, straight drop back pass, looking down in the flat on the side. Great defense by Carson Winholt, step for step with Egan. I don't know if he got his hand on it or not, but he was there, and Egan was not able to bring it in.
What a fast group of defenders we've got deep. You know, with Carson Winholt, he's got great speed. Lane Schrog, Tim Lambert, and Zach Abel. And not to mention, then you figure in, and we mentioned that in the first half with the interception, you've got guys like Kyle Anderson, Riley Odell, and Cord Elliott, 3 of your 4 best running backs at linebacker who are backing up into coverage. It's tough to find an open guy back there.
5 out wide for Collegiate, second down and 10. Quick pass in the flat, caught by DeVore, wrapped up immediately by Lane Schrog, a pickup of about 7 on the play. It's going to be third down and a long 3 for Collegiate. Ball in Viking territory at the 45-yard line. Yeah, that was just a quick, it's pretty hard to defend that. Lane Schrog right there, but just that's a quick stop route, and just threw it right on the money.
And I think that's Collegiate's best bet. We're giving a lot of ground, not getting beat deep by anything. And I think the quick hitters are where they have their best chances. But here's that trips left again. He's probably going to roll
out with it. And he's going to tuck it and run to the near side. He's got one man to beat, and that's Carson Winholtz. Carson's going to drop him out of bounds, but not before he picks up first down yardage at the 32-yard line. A great run by McNerney. Great defense by Carson Winholtz. But it just, when he's got that gift, has changed the field. Everything was flowing to the left side, and he brought it back to the right side and got a first down yardage again.
Been setting that play up by running that same rollout for the entire quarter, and all of a sudden there's that look of the option. Instead of continuing the option, he saw the seam open up on the right side, and he took off and countered that, and luckily Carson Winholtz did stay home.
Two backs beside the quarterback in the backfield. He's going to tuck it and run. No, it's a quick toss outside to Morrow. Morrow's driven down by Lane. Excellent defense by number 18 out there on the flat.
Flag comes flying in here at the end. Looks like it's in the area of possibly holding, but we'll have to see what the call is.
On which team in that that territory. It looks like it should be offense, but we may have a defensive holding. We'll see what this crew is not. They don't give you any early preliminary signal, that's for sure. But you're right. It's a good thing he's got a microphone tonight, because we'd be wondering all night long what these calls would be.
Got a hold on the offense.
So it is offensive holding. Well, I would decline that one this time. It's going to be, Coach Lambert emphatically declining that one, as the loss on the play was 7 yards. It went from the 32 back to the 32 back to the 38. 6 yards loss on the play.
Yeah, so you're either first and 20 or you're second and 16. I like the odds when it's second and 16 for
no
sure.
question about that. Take it down away from him. You don't lose that much yardage.
We said that earlier, though, and they could put a deep ball down the field after he runs to the left, runs to the right, and keep Bleats shifting the field. But nice job there by the Vikings. You know, first thing was the outside guy really got up to the quarterback quickly, and you made the call. It was Lane Schraub flying in from his corner or safety position there and able to stick him 6 yards deep.
A little confusion now. I thought they were going to wind the clock and let this quarter expire. There's only 4.7 seconds left. The administration of penalties in this game has taken more time than the actual game itself. So second down, and we'll call it 16. And now they will wind the clock, and that will be the end of the third quarter. Our score after 3 quarters from Anderson Stadium. Smoky Valley 6, Collegiate yet to score. Back for the fourth quarter right after this.
At the end of the third
Yeah, sure, the weather may be enjoyable now, but those brisk icy winds aren't far away. Keep Jack Frost out of your garage, out of your home, and most importantly, out of your pockets. Let Overhead Door eliminate those pesky air leaks with a cold weather tune-up for the biggest opening of your home, your garage door. This month, Overhead Door Company is offering a 20% discount on all top, side, and bottom seals with installation. Overhead Door Company of North Central Kansas in Salina and McPherson. Online at odcnck.com.
This is a Rocking M broadcast of the Smoky Valley Vikings.
There was a timing error on the play.
Welcome back here to Anderson Field. Looks like they're going to call a timing error here.
Replay, so we finish the third down.
And it looks like we're going to replay this last 4 seconds.
4.7 seconds left.
McNerney has done a great job on this drive for them. He's got 4 carries for 34 yards so far in this drive. So,
well, they put it at 15 and wound the clock. So now it's second down and 16. McNerney is going to drop it. Now he's going to roll out and look at the pass over here on the far. They say it's a backward pass. Is it a backward pass?
I'll be honest with you, I don't think it was.
I think it was.
I think they're going to call it. Oh, they're going to call it incomplete. Now, it's interesting. That play did not take the rest of the quarter, so now it's 3rd and 16 with 2.8 seconds left. Now you don't get the advantage of talking about this play prior to running it. A trick play there as they tried to do a throwback. Conrad played that beautifully as the quarterback rolled to his left and threw back to the right. But now you have to run this 3rd and 16 with no prep.
McNerney back with there, rolling back, dropping back, now looking far side, one-on-one coverage on the far side with Zach Abel, and Zach Abel had it played in perfectly. Had it timed. He was going against the big tight end number 8 there on the play.
Flag on the play.
Another flag down here. It looks like it might be the potential for another hold again.
Well, I'm sure they would decline it here, but maybe not. Maybe put him back another 10 yards. So flag out again. Ball is at the 38-yard line. It was 3rd and 16. We'll see what he says.
After the play was over, we had 2 dead ball fouls. We have an unsportsmanlike on the defense. We have a dead ball, unsportsmanlike on the offense. The offset, that's the end of the quarter.
into the quarter now, finally. So it all ends with a 4th down and 16 unsportsmanlike conduct on 2 players, 1 on each team. And since we've already broken for the quarter, Jared, let's take another 30-second timeout. We'll be back with the 4th quarter right after this.
As an active person, whether on the playing field or a morning bike ride, an injury can stop you. Quick treatment from Salina Ortho can lead to quick recovery. Don't allow an injury to keep you from the active life you enjoy. Salina Ortho, your voice, your choice, past, present, and future.
Improve your yield with A-Series soybeans from DuPont Pioneer. Available through Phelps Seed, your hometown Pioneer seed specialist. Using accelerated yield technology, A-Series beans deliver 2.3 more bushels per acre than the competition. Phelps Seed and Pioneer, with you from the word go.
You're listening to Smoky Valley Vikings Athletics.
And back at Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field, Collegiate faced with a big play here, and it doesn't look like they're sending their punting group out. So the Vikings have to defend one more time here. 4th down and 16 to go. Only 1 or 2 plays that they've had have been this much real estate to gain. There's that one big pass play that there was a kind of a broken play. And is there any other that have been more than 15 yards? I don't think so.
Not really. The Viking defense has really shut them down tonight, and I don't expect we'll see a fake here, but I think they'll try to pin us deep and let their defense play.
He does punt it away. Punt it. No, we didn't even put anybody back. It went out on the coffin corner. A great punt by McDurney. That ball goes out of bounds at the 3 or 4 yard line. So that's where Smoky Valley will have it 1st and 10. And now we're in the 4th quarter, and make sure you stay tuned to the Bank of Tesket postgame show. Generations of Confidence, Relationships for Life. Member FDIC. The Bank of Tesket postgame show. We'll also have a player of the game to give out for Salina Ortho player of the game. We've got a lot of things to determine yet. Mostly the final score. It's just 6-0. We're a big play away from who knows what happens. Vikings would certainly like to bust a big play here. We've been wearing other teams out, but tonight it looks like this Collegiate team is stride for stride and strength for strength with us tonight, no question.
Time for a big 11-minute, 54-second drive down the field.
Well, the Vikings are at the 3 yard line, and they have it 1st and 10, wishbone formation. Here comes Power running up the middle, and the Vikings will get some yardage across the 5, maybe a little bit to the 6. We'll see where they end up spotting it. It's Kyle Anderson on the run.
Number 44, Riley Odell with the carry.
I don't know, they said Riley. The PA said Riley. Did you see Riley?
Tackled by number 6.
You think it was Riley? Okay.
Hard to see down in that angle. You know, when you're really back deep in there and he makes that quick handoff, it is difficult to see. But I think we had our big lineup in that time in the wishbone. Yeah. And so I think it was Riley and Court both up or both around there to be able to make that play. And I think it was Riley up the middle.
Stoppage at play is somebody from Collegiate having a little equipment adjustment. Charbonneau, they're one of their linebackers. Now they'll reset because there's that black end zone to go to boot with the Vikings. Here comes Kyle Anderson trying the left side, and he's going to get run into a stone wall over there. So great pursuit by Collegiate.
Ball carrier number 5.
We didn't know exactly what to expect from Collegiate coming in. The record was 5-4. They had a lot of points scored against them throughout the year, but I'm very impressed with how well they play. Coach Garrett does a nice job with them. They've come in here ready to go. Same is true with us. I think our defense has definitely responded and done some great things today. Our offense has moved the ball, but the Collegiate defense has shut us down when they've had to, and we've made the decision to punt it probably a few more times than what we've been used to doing.
I formation. Heitschmidt dropping back to pass, looking sideways, still looking. He's going to throw it down. Oh, that's going to be a bad choice. That's going to go out of bounds and not pass the line of scrimmage. That might be a safety. I don't know what the rule is in high school. Intentional grounding. There wasn't anybody's eye on Thomas. The closest receiver had turned to the inside. I don't know what the rule is in high school. 5-yard penalty, loss of down.
Intentional grounding on the play on the offense.
Now we'll see what the culmination of that.
Quarterback was in the end zone. That results in safety.
So it is a safety. Quarterback gets called for intentional grounding, and it's 2 points for Collegiate. So deep in their own end zone, Smoky Valley gives up a safety without that's one of those weird calls that's just what the rule is. I knew that's what the rule was in college and NFL, but I wasn't sure if it was in high school. And I don't know if it had to get just past the line of scrimmage, but the ball did not even get past the line of scrimmage. So the Vikings will have to punt the ball away.
Yeah, it's tough play. You know, we tried to run a little quick pass there with Brett, and unfortunately it didn't open up, so he decided to roll to his right. Unfortunately, their defensive end on the right side, or on their side there, was able to get across to him, and he was in pursuit. You know, honestly, if he it might have been the best scenario. I mean, he gave up the 2 points by throwing it out of bounds. He probably was going to get sacked in the end zone for 2. The other thing is throw the ball into the field of play, and then you have the chance of getting it picked, and they come back and have a pick 6 out of it, or they have great field position. So he was not in a good situation either way. He was about 5 to 6 yards deep in the end zone, if not deeper. It's a tough play, but it's whatever it is here, and the defense is going to have to respond again.
Wondered who would come out and kick the ball, if Riley Odell would punt the ball away or if Raleigh Wilson was going to kick it. You have your choice of which to do. Well, the Vikings give up a safety. Raleigh Wilson will come on and kick the ball away. And Collegiate, will have the ball. And one of the upbacks, that DeVore, has picked up the last 2 or 3 and run it to get them good field position. So certainly would kick it away from DeVore. Spread now, trying to get everybody adjusted with Collegiate. Once a high kick is going to be taken by one of the upbacks. Morrow is going to have it at the 40, 45 midfield, and wrapped up there. The Collegiate will have, like you said, Doug, decent field position, but it is back near midfield. So now it's time to call on the defense. Can you get a 3 and out? Can you get a sack? Can you get an interception? What can you get here? Defense, this team has played so well together all year long. They rely on each other for strength and backup, and now it's time to show what you can do. 3 receivers to the near side, 1 back in the backfield with McNerney. Vikings have 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers, corner, and a couple of safeties. The quarterback's going to keep it himself right through the middle. He's going to get maybe a yard, maybe 2. Second down and 8 for the Collegiate Spartans. That was a run all the way by McNerney.
You know, you and I commented before going on the air tonight that unique score with Holton, 9-8 last night. We're sitting here at 6-2 in Lindsborg. You know, this is playoff football. This is what you expect. Good teams going at each other, and it doesn't really matter what round it is. You see a lot of good teams here at the postseason, and we've got 2 of them here tonight.
3 receivers to the far side. 1 back in the backfield with McNerney. It's been the formation they've used so many times. Now dropping back to pass. He's rushed. He's getting there. He's wrapped up by Conrad Peterson. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. It won't go as a sack, but it basically was a coverage sack as McNerney, wrapped up by Conrad Peterson, will get back to the 46-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 8 for Collegiate. Great play.
Down linemen doing such a great job. We mentioned the defensive backs having the coverage deep, but our D linemen have not quit moving. They don't get out of position. They don't get pushed outside of the play. They maintain their stand, and that time they did as McNerney tried to go up the middle. Conrad's right on top of him.
Empty backfield, 3 receivers near side. And there's pressure by Conrad Peterson once again. The ball is loose. Is it a fumble? I don't think he called him, but he said it's a fumble. He said it's a fumble. Unbelievable. Conrad Peterson with the big play. Just asked the defense if they were going to come up with something big. And you don't have a chance to review it. I'm not sure I would have said he was down, but I wasn't watching the ball. I was just watching Conrad. What a play by Conrad Peterson.
Didn't look like Conrad was blocked by anybody. I think McNerney was as surprised as anybody that he was in the backfield that quickly, and Conrad got a hold of him, and by gosh, he was not letting go. And you're right, it looked really iffy. It was a bang-bang play. It looked like maybe his butt might have been down, but the ball came out, and it's Viking ball at the 43.
Wishbone formation in Collegiate territory now. Boy, this ought to give some momentum to the Viking linemen as Riley Odell powers it down inside the 40-yard line. So pickup of 3 by Riley Odell on the power run. Second down and 7 for Smoky Valley. Now 8:45 left to go in the 4th quarter. Vikings still with the lead after giving up that safety. And you said maybe the best case scenario. You never know in this game anymore. Heitschmidt's going to keep it himself, and Heitschmidt, after gaining a couple yards, will go down, get thrown backwards. Ball is going to be spotted at the 38-yard line. He'll pick up a couple more. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Nickerson now 20-14 against Clay Center, as Clay Center has put another touchdown up on the board, so that game is tightened up in Nickerson as well.
Great playoff action tonight in Class 4A Division II. It was 7-7 McPherson and Buhler. That's a huge game going on down Highway 81. Here comes Heitschmidt. He's going to carry it himself. He was trying to hand it off to Kyle Anderson, and somehow they got miscommunicated between there, and now somebody from Collegiate's going down. Number 8, their big tight end, I believe. No, it isn't. It's 44. That's Dieter. That's been a problem for the Vikings. Now they'll take an injury timeout as both teams are taking a knee here, so hopefully it's nothing serious. And I didn't see anything that play that looked crazy at all, but another stoppage of play here as they tend to the injured Collegiate Spartan out there.
Take this time to remind you, don't miss the RE/MAX Advantage Realtors scoreboard show tonight from 10 to 11 on Sports Radio 1150 KSAL. Get a recap of this game, scores from the area, and other wraps from around the Rockingham media stations. That's the RE/MAX Advantage Realtors scoreboard show tonight from 10 to 11 on Sports Radio KSAL. We believe that's going to
We believe that's going to happen. Yeah, I haven't got a confirmation on that. Yeah. Looking... Kingman and Scott City, did you say that was tied up? Or
still tied up, yep, 14 all. There's what I have. Other 4A Division II scores have not been updated really well. Topeka Hayden still 42-0 over Prairie View. Burlington up 16-13 on Columbus in the third. Frontenac 34-0 on Girard in the third. And then Holcomb up 33-8 was the last score I had there as well.
Well, the Vikings are going to go for it. The ball's sitting at the 36-yard line. They need to get to the 33. 4th down and 3. Wishbone formation for the Vikings, and now Coach Lambert wants to talk about it. We'll step aside as well. 7:32 left to go in the fourth quarter. Vikings ahead 6-2. Back right after this.
Do you know what major TV networks, Hall of Fame athletes, wineries, pubs, famous chefs, and brides and grooms from across the country have in common? They all purchase custom-etched glassware at glassdecorators.com. EmsloyGlassDecorators.com have been providing carefully etched glass for nearly 30 years. An effective tool for company branding, etched glasses are also perfect for school and civic groups, special occasions, and that one-of-a-kind gift they won't find anywhere else. Emsloyd Scandinavian Specialties and GlassDecorators.com, supporting Smoky Valley Athletics since 1984.
This is a Smoky Valley Vikings broadcast.
And welcome back to Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field. The winner of this game will take on the winner of Colby and Holcomb. Holcomb with a big lead in that one, so that they are already ready to go. Vikings after their timeout here. Well, you think it'll be trickery? You think it'll be something Smash Mouth Smoky Valley wishbone option, or who knows what it's going to be? Kyle Anderson's been pretty well held in check this third quarter and early fourth.
It's such a difficult thing because collegiate speed makes it difficult to get to the edge, but the wishbone's been our best, and we do split Zach Abel wide this time in the wishbone look.
The near side, wishbone formation behind Heitschmidt. He's going to run it. Kyle Anderson right up the middle. He's got first down yardage to the 30-yard line and down to the 29 before the play's blown dead, so just power running. And there's leaving. That would be a trail of tacklers. John Burks, among others, in there slow to get up, but man, give them credit for opening that big hole right up the middle where it's been so tough.
Getting to that time of the game where we usually do a pretty good job of handling the ball and doing what we have to do, and that was another fine example of that, although every time Collegiate stands us up, there's 3 or 4 guys trying to rip that ball out. So it's going to be really important for our running backs to make sure they maintain control till that whistle for sure, because there's been some interesting fumble calls throughout this game to this point.
Zion Thomas wide to the far side. Wishbone formation behind Heitschmidt. Here comes Riley Odell. No, Kyle Anderson trying to get outside. Kyle's got some room. 20-yard line flag comes in. It's going to be a holding on the Vikings after another big, nearly 20-yard pickup. Conrad Peterson on the base of that flag, where that flag came from, and boy, you don't want to single out anybody, but he was just right there, and just some questionable calls on holding tonight, and a lot of holding calls all over the field.
definitely has not allowed the game to get into a flow in the running game at all.
On the offense, that play has been accepted. We're going to replay first down.
It's been accepted. I thought he said, I don't know what he said. No, it's a 10-yard step off against the Vikings. It'll go back to the 39-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and 20 for Smoky Valley. 6:57 left to go in this fourth quarter. The Vikings need some yardage now. That was a great run by Kyle Anderson. They got 2 big runs by Kyle now have been called back by penalty.
Yeah, and Kyle not too many yards away right now. I think he's still sitting at 88. Still sitting at 88, 95 yards right now. So he's only 5 yards away from his 8th 100-yard rushing game of the season to this point. And if you'd give him those two big runs, he's got it by a long ways, but both of those have been called back. So
they're looking at administration of the penalty again because the flag was on the 31-yard line, and they stepped it off from the previous spot. So the collegiate coach has jumped him about that. Is it from the spot or from the previous spot?
I usually thought that when the ball was crossed the line of scrimmage, then it was from the spot of the foul. When the call was behind the line of scrimmage, I thought it was usually from the line of scrimmage itself. But they're going to administer that and make that a 12-yard penalty now.
Well, I don't think so because, it's a 12-yard from the previous spot, but it's, and Coach Lambert's all over the official on this side, so. And this has not been a great crew of officiating a state playoff game. If this is the best you got for your state playoffs, we're lacking somewhere.
It's been some interesting calls, let's put it that way. Now we're going to discuss it one more time.
Well, I don't know if anybody knew where they stood the penalty off from.
Needless to say, I'm going to say the Smoky Valley fans are not pleased.
Well, they've put up the biggest ruckus for sure, no question about that. Well, Coach Lambert wants an explanation. He wants the white hat to come over and talk to him. The collegiate coach has gotten the white hat to come over a couple of times and visit with him, but he's not coming over to talk to Coach Lambert. He wants, finally he gets him to come over. I don't want to broadcast.
I think all Coach Lambert wants is he wants that clock to run, and he just wants him to go. I think it really messes with our rhythm here by constantly trying to argue about it. If it's a 10 or a 12, I think Coach Lambert let's just play.
Let's just get this first down. Let's see if we can get a big play here. Wishbone formation. Here comes Kyle Anderson running through the middle, or Cord Elliott. And there comes another flag out. That one came way, way late, too. My goodness, where did that penalty come from?
Number 35, Will Sahatchin.
That one's sitting right about the 41, so I'm guessing it's going to be another hold.
There's a flag on the play.
Hate to say I'm guessing, but it seems to be the theme. Yeah, that's going to be the call.
And it's coming so late in the play. It's like, where are these penalties coming from? It's got the whole Smoky Valley crowd up in arms because it just seems like it's not in the flow of the game. It's way from the very edge. Not that holding on the edge isn't as important as holding in the middle, but that flag came out almost when Kyle was down.
We don't have a direct correlation here tonight statistically of how many holds that is, but that's more holds I think than we've had almost the entire season.
No question
to this point, and more holding calls definitely between the two teams than we've seen in most of our games. So they are definitely seeing something tonight that we have not seen previously. So big, long field now. What are we up to? First and
31, it says on the board. Yeah. And we're across midfield. We're at the 49-yard line of Smoky Valley.
I think it's closer to 32.
I formation this time behind Heitschmidt, looking to go downfield. He's driven down, and did the ball come out? No.
I think Brett was getting ready to throw. He was challenged by number 14 there who got through, Shashir Reddy. But also we had a player down in the backfield. I think Brett kind of tripped over the top of him as the defender came in there.
So backup's up 5 yards on the loss of Brett Heitzman. Loses 5 yards, and thank goodness he didn't throw an interception or something in that one. So Vikings now facing third, and they got to go to the 20-yard line to get a first down. So the chain gang crew that's usually right in the middle of the play, they're way, way down on the end. Riley Odell has gone back to wishbone formation behind Heitschmidt. Here comes Kyle Anderson running to the far side, and he's going to get driven down. Collegiate suddenly playing with a lot of momentum. Well, they should be happy. They've gotten 30 yards of penalties against the Vikings for not doing anything.
Be a nice time here, I think, for that wheel route again to Timmy. Try to get him coming out of that wishbone formation again. See if we can get him up the field on one side. You know, even if you put that ball in the air 40 or 50 yards and it's intercepted, it's about as good as a punt at this point in time, especially when you're looking at third and what seems like a neighborhood.
Yeah, third
and 38 at this point.
And Coach Lambert, watching the clock run down, he's going to call a timeout here with just as the play clock expires. So Vikings will be facing third and long. And we'll take a timeout and come right back. You're listening to Smoky Valley football. Smoky Valley up 6-2. Back right after this.
The Vikings play here.
The Old Stuga in downtown Lidsborg is celebrating 40 years in business. Home of the famous Brent Nelson sandwich. Visit them on South Main Street. Go Vikings and go Swedes.
At State Farm, when home and auto work together as a team, you score time and money. Call State Farm agent Anthony Hopkins, 785-472-4426 today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This is a Rockingham broadcast of the Smoky Valley Vikings.
Back to Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field. Well, the flow of the game has affected us, too. It just seems like nothing's going according to Hoyle here, as the Vikings had the ball without the first holding penalty. They had it 1st and 10 about the 12-yard line, but they brought it back 1 holding, 2 holdings, 3 holdings, and now have lost a couple of yards on some couple of plays, and so they're facing 3rd down and 43, it says, on the 43-yard line.
Yeah, I think we're 3rd and 38 at this point in time. I don't think it's 3rd and 43, but
3 receivers for Smoky Valley to the near side.
Pass to Lambert on the left, I'm guessing.
It's actually Heitschmidt. He's going to get sacked in the back. So Heitschmidt gets sacked, and the Vikings are certainly going to have to punt this ball away and give field. Well, they'll get it punted away. They'll have to go down and see where Collegiate will return it. So they're going to put 2 guys back to return the ball. So they're going to be looking to try to get a return out of it, get some better field position.
I'm not even sure if we're going to be able to punt it to the line of scrimmage.
No, I don't think we will. Riley Odell back to punt. Good snap. Pressure coming, but he gets it away. High, wobbly kick.
Good punt.
Going to let it bounce, take a collegiate bounce, but it is going to get to the line of scrimmage inside the 30, about the 28-yard line. Well, that's where, again, we're going to have to call on Smoky Valley's defense. We had to call on them once before, and Conrad Peterson stepped up and got a big couple of sacks on the quarterback. So see if that can happen again. 3:44 is all that's left to go.
I feel like it's a World Series score.
Oh, man.
But you're right. The defense has done such a great job. You know, what a great night to call on them with 3:44 left and say, go out and win it for us, and that's kind of where we're at right now.
And you stop them one more time. 3 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. McNerney rolling to the near side, rolling, still gunning. He's going to tuck it and run, and he's going to get wrapped up. There's a holding penalty. That's going to get the Smoky Valley crowd excited. They're calling holding on almost every play. It just, wow, unbelievable. I think we'll send that one back. It was only a gain of about 2 on the play, but you'll still take the yardage at this point in time.
Yeah, it's huge just to keep moving them backwards, because now the field is your enemy more than the time is, because I think, you know, this is going to tick off a little bit because we're able to cover so well and because we've done such a nice job. The biggest thing is, again, to keep plays in front of us, make them have to make plays to beat us.
Absolutely. You'll take the short yardage gains. You don't want to get busted by the big play. 3 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Big number 8 on the near side. Now we got a stoppage of play here as DeVore, the one running back, has to go out. He's got some blood on his arm or something. The official called timeout and send him out of the play. We'll get a quick tape job on him to bring in number 44. He was the one that went out with an injury here earlier. He's going to go over the play with the quarterback, McNerney. Winding the clock, 3:30 and counting. The clock cannot run fast enough for Smoky Valley fans. 6-2 is our score. McNerney dropping back, looking downfield. He's going to be in trouble. He's rolling, still rolling, and he's got a receiver out of bounds. The receiver was Egan, but he was out of bounds and incomplete. So 3:15 remaining now. Second down and 20. Ball on the 20-yard line. Second down and 19, actually. The ball's on the 20-yard line. They got to get to the 39 for a first down.
Can't stress enough just what a great job our coverage has done. I mean, yeah, there have been some guys with a little bit of space here or there, but we've done so well. And the time that we've got them covered has allowed our defensive line the chance to be able to get back there and get pressure on. And there was evidence, again, chasing him out of the pocket and making it difficult. So we've stepped up to this point. Just got to continue doing it for another 3:15.
So shotgun formation, dropping back as McNerney going down with a quick slant, and it's incomplete. He missed his receiver, intended receiver Sims on that one. Third down now and 20. As he just looked a little bit like he was unsure of where he wanted to go, and that time it looked like the Vikings were in more of a zone defense than a man-to-man. So I'm not sure what Smoky Valley playing. They got some defenders back. Carson Winholt still man coverage on the outside player. Zach Abel still man on the outside on the near side. And we got Schrog and Kyle Anderson man on the far side defenders. McNerney dropping back, looking down the field. Now he's going to tuck it and run. He's getting in and out of defenders. He's being forced out of bounds, and the throw long down the field and out of bounds, incomplete. Fourth down and 19. What a job Jacob Adams and Conrad Peterson do of putting pressure on the quarterback.
And they're not getting to him very often because he's so mobile back there that he is going everywhere. But these two guys have been in pursuit, I would say, each of the last 3 or 4 or 5 pass plays that they've had, including the turnover plays out here where Conrad got to him twice in a row.
Did I miss a play, or is it fourth down? I thought it was third down.
It is. It's fourth down right now.
Okay, it's fourth down now. Okay.
They're looking to punt.
They're looking to punt, but I would make sure, I would not even have Zach Abel deep. I would make sure that he punts the ball, but having to get 20 yards, Zach Abel will certainly be up there quick enough. But what a job your defense has done. It's a wobbly kick. Almost looked like it got hit. Zach Abel get away, and he's going to pick it up. He's going to get to the 50. He's going to get to the 45, to the 40, and driven out of bounds. There's a late flag. Add 10 more, 15 more yards on it. Late hit out of bounds. Zach Abel, we questioned whether he should pick it up, but he picked it up. The bag is back there at the 44-yard line, and he ran it about 15 yards, and then they're going to get 15 more on the penalty of the late hit out of bounds.
It was a knuckleball coming out of there for sure. You mentioned that it might have looked like it got hit. I think he just didn't make a good contact with it, and it took off, and it bounced a number of times before Zach picks it up. A little precarious there, and he ends up getting up the sideline, get to the 38, and it looks like we're going to add some yards on. Maybe. We'll talk about it a little bit.
You got a dead ball, personal foul, late hit, out of bounds, 15-yard penalty.
My goodness. Well, we'll take it at this point in time. We just love to run the clock out now. I don't care what the score is, but it's been an interesting ball game tonight. I apologize to our listeners out there. To hope we're conveying somewhat that we're not too biased, but it's just, I mean, the penalties have gone equally. I'm going to be interested to see what we have for stats on an amount of penalties on both teams. It's just going to be crazy amount of yardage. So first and 10 Vikings nearing the red zone, nearing the Next Tech Wireless red zone at the 23-yard line. So hopefully we're going to get inside the Next Tech Wireless. Hopefully we'll get into the Bethany end zone.
That'd be great.
The Vikings are driving from north to south. Wishbone formation behind Heitschmidt. Turn and hands it off to Kyle Anderson. He gets some power yardage inside the Next Tech Wireless red zone. He's a pickup of nearly 5 yards on the play.
Yeah, the Vikings are in the Next Tech Wireless red zone. Lowest rates, flexible plans, exceptional customer service for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless.
What a power run by Kyle Anderson. He kind of just took the slow route that time instead of just, he usually runs with a burst of speed and tries to get in and, yeah, very much hanging on to the football, but he's one of those runners that kind of just powers his way through. That time he kind of slowed down a little bit, let the play develop a little more in front of him. So second down, Vikings. Here comes Cord Elliott, and he's going to get powered down to near the 15-yard line before he's finally And there goes some more push. Wow, look at that extra push. That gave the Vikings an extra. That might have given them a first down.
That was a great play. It looked like he was stuck right at the 15, and then the lineman came over, and everybody else came over and gave a shove, and it pushes that ball to the 12, and it is going to be a first down. And remember, Collegiate had to use a timeout earlier in the half. They only have 2 left, so they don't have a lot of an opportunity to be able to stop this clock as we continue with 1:51.
Well, you got clock management. Brett Heichman will watch that clock before he snaps the ball. Wishbone formation behind him. 5-4. He's going to wait behind it. Here comes Riley Odell powering. He'll get down to about the 10, maybe not quite. And Collegiate will call their first timeout, or their second timeout of the half. Their first on this drive with just 1:33 left to go. We'll step aside as well. 6-2 is our score still. 1:33 left. Vikings lead. Back right after this.
Overhead Door Company of North Central Kansas invites you to visit their website at odcnck.com. Once there, you can look over the products that Overhead Door offers for commercial and residential installation and repair. Overhead Door Company services all of North Central Kansas.
Ace your next harvest with A-Series beans from Phelps Seed, your hometown Pioneer seed specialist, providing Pioneer wheat, corn, soybean, sunflower, and milo seed, along with the crop protection chemicals you need. Grow with the winner, Phelps Seed, with you from the word go.
You're listening to Smoky Valley Vikings Athletics.
Welcome back to Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field, here on the campus of Bethany College, where Bethany College tomorrow finishes their home part of their season against their friends Falcons. A 1:30 kickoff. What do you got?
Clay Center just takes the lead on Nickerson, 21-20.
Really?
They scored 2 touchdowns late in this game in the fourth quarter, so it'll be interesting there. And Scott City, 21-14 over Kingman. That is a final, so Kingman is eliminated from the playoffs. From our league as well. So Clay Center, heck of a comeback. You know, we've seen them firsthand, and I think we thought Nickerson might have a little bit more for him than that, but an excellent comeback there late to take the lead. So we'll see how much time's left there and what ends up happening.
How much time is left here? Collegiate now has 1 timeout left. Vikings facing a 2nd down and 9. Turn and hand it off to Odell. Odell powering his way up the middle. There comes a flag in again. Did I see a flag or not? Maybe I didn't see a flag. They're not calling for timeout. I guess I'm mistaking something else, so they'll call a timeout here. We'll keep this one here as the Vikings will run now. They're going to be facing 3rd and 5. Vikings will have a chance to get a first down and run out the clock for sure on this series. You mentioned the penalties, and how many did we have offsetting, but what was the total of penalties?
8 penalties for Collegiate for 70 yards and 8 penalties for Smoky Valley for 65 yards. So, again, like you said, we're not trying to seem biased. It just seems like the calls have been very interesting the way they've come up, and there have been some offsetting calls. You know, there was the offsetting on sportsmanlike, but just some unique flow of the game calls that have really changed things.
Taking all the flow out of it.
Exactly. Kyle had a big long run earlier. Doesn't get that, and the penalty is called. You have the bounce pass over here that clearly, from where we are sitting at least,
and everybody on the home side,
and it was called complete even after a conference of the officials. And then a number of penalties that push us back 28 yards for a 3rd or 4th and 30. Well, we ended up getting sacks. It was like a 4th and 45. But after all that's said and done, Vikings have the ball, up 6-2, 1:21 left at the 8-yard line.
3rd and 5 for Smoky Valley. Can they find the first down marker? Wishbone formation. Now we got a stoppage of play, and Smoky Valley decides to call a timeout. That's an interesting call. That's the Vikings' last timeout as well. So just before they snapped the ball, another timeout called. So the plot thickens, and you mentioned how quick the game was going. We might be home by 8 o'clock. Now we're going to be the longest game of the year, I think. We're still here in the press box at 9:15. We still got 1:21 of it. Very exciting. It's 6-2. You mentioned it's a baseball score. Baseball season just got over, and we're here looking at a juggernaut of a score at 6-2.
Like I said, it's so unique in the game that you and I come in here talking about an awkward 9-8 score.
Yeah.
But it's playoff football.
Yeah.
You just come out and like you said, both teams have played extremely well tonight. Hats off to Wichita Collegiate and all the things that they've done. You know, it's up to the Vikings now to hold on to this football and be strong. You know, a first down or a touchdown here, and this game's over. And I think that's why you saw Coach Lambert call that timeout. He wants to make sure he's got the best play set up for the way they're setting up to run against it and give ourselves a chance here to maybe seal this game.
Wishbone formation, hands it off to Kyle Anderson, trying the left side, and he's going to get to the 5, but no more. It'll be 4th down, Smoky Valley. And you got to like the chance that you're going to go for it on 4th down. You're going to run the ball again. You're going to take as much time as you can. It's going to be under a minute. They haven't even set the 25-second clock yet.
3 for the Vikings.
They haven't finally started the ready for play, so this is going to go down inside 30 seconds before they snap the ball. A lot of time. That was a long time before they set that 25-second clock.
I wasn't even really sure he put the ball to play.
I never saw him do that. 40 seconds now. 4th down yardage. Here comes a run. Here comes a first down. Here comes touchdown! Smoky Valley touchdown run by Kyle Anderson to seal this game off with 33.8 seconds left to go. What a turn of events.
You know, you mentioned earlier in this drive how it looked like Kyle kind of slowly picked his way through to pick up 3 or 4 yards. On 4th and 3 right here, there was no slowing Kyle down. He hit that hole hard. The right side of the line created a beautiful hole for him, and he drove that thing into the end zone. The Vikings up 12-2 now with a chance to put up 2 more.
2 more points now don't make a difference because they can't score twice. It's a 10-point lead for Smoky Valley. They will go I formation. They will hand it off to Riley Odell, and he will... We don't know yet whether he got there or not. No signal has been made. It's no good. They never did signal. The official coming in from the far side never signaled. Oh, here comes a late flag in. Somebody from Smoky Valley probably said something on that one because it was such a late call. It was just hilarious that it would go. But the two-point conversion run failed. And our score with 33 seconds left, 12-2. And Jared, we're going to keep this one right here. We're going to go in here really quick and figure out what's going on. There is a flag thrown.
We had a dead ball, unsportsmanlike, on black.
They'll step off a 15-yard penalty on the Vikings before they kick the ball off. So they normally kick from the 40, so they'll be back at the 25-yard line. And that will be, you know, it's just another one of those things. The official's job on that side as a linesman coming across is to signal whether he got in or not. He never signaled anything. Finally, the man in the white hat, after the play was dead and gone and guys were getting up, he finally signaled no good. But just the administration of a game, and from our standpoint, is just a little bit bizarre. And now Coach Lambert wants to talk to the officials and see what's going on, and you know, it isn't going to make any difference. Collegiate could run this ball back. You know, who knows? You gotta play the game out. But Vikings are going to be making sure they get going here. I don't know what this official's going back here for.
He thought it might be a little bit.
Well, he's supposed to be up here watching this yard line. Ball's on the ground. Hit a Collegiate player. I know they got to cover it. So a good little break for the Vikings there. They certainly can't get a run back on that one as it hits one of the up guys, and then falling on it at the 45-yard line of Smoky Valley is a Collegiate player. So that's where they'll have it 1st and 10. And they have to score twice in 30 seconds. So likely, no. Extremely possible, who knows. So 1st down Smoky Valley. They'll spot it at the 46-yard line. And they're going to be playing a lot of safeties here, as you know they're going to try to throw the ball deep. Last minute substitution. Vikings are going to put just 3 down linemen to pressure the quarterback, McNerney. Dropping back and rolling back. Now he's going to throw it deep down the sideline. One-on-one coverage and incomplete. Great defense again by Carson Winholtz. Over on that side, the intended receiver was Bolden. And that falls incomplete. 2nd down and 10 with 23 seconds left.
3 league schools playing in the playoffs tonight, and only one of them looks like they're going to make it out, as Clay Center does knock off Nickerson tonight 21-20 at Nickerson.
Wow, unbelievable. 2 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. McNerney with backs beside him in the backfield. They're keeping pressure on there. Still getting through is Jacob Adams. McNerney driving the ball down, and it's out of bounds again. They're trying to pick against Bolden on that outside coverage, and because we're getting such good pressure, he's having to keep 2 backs in the backfield to block for him. We got 3 guys that are pressuring against 7. Unbelievable how the front defensive line of Wampler and Peterson and Jacob Adams are getting in there. How are they doing that?
Yeah, they're just doing a great job. It's just going to work. I mean, they know what they've been back there. That hunger is there, and they just keep trying to get back there, and it's allowing the coverage to do everything that it needs to do deep.
So 3rd down and 10 now. McNerney still looking. Now he's going to go in the flat, caught by Sims. 1st down yardage inside the 35 at the 33-yard line. Quickly tackled by Odell and Anderson. 9 seconds remaining. He's going to spike the ball real quick, and he does. No time went off the clock. He should run at least a second off. I don't think they've even signaled they're ready for play now. Now they signal it. Now they're going to have to run because now they're going to be facing McNerney. Looking down. He's looking downfield. He's going all the way down into the end zone. Looks like the Vikings are celebrating. Carson Lindholm's coming away with the ball. Did he catch it or not? Doesn't matter. The game is over. The Vikings win 12-2. 12-2 is our final. And we'll be back to name the Ortho Player of the Game, the Bank of Tesket post-game show, and possibly the Remax Advantage scoreboard show later on. You're listening to Smoky Valley Football, back right after this.
Farmers State Bank of Lindbergh, located at 447 Harrison Street, is proud to support the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes. Good luck, Vikings, and good luck, Swedes. Member FDIC.
Boyd Accounting provides professional accounting services in the Lindsborg area. Call them today at 227-2589 for all your accounting needs. Wishing the best of luck to the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes.
Bethany College Swedes succeed. Bethany students lead lives of faith, learning, and service as they find their own pathways on Bethany's beautiful campus that's filled with opportunities to get involved with art, music, theater, athletics, service learning, sustainability, leadership, global citizenship, and more. Swedes succeed in their careers and their communities. Learn more at www.bethanylb.edu. Arn Reinert, CPA LLC, provides tax and accounting services in the Smoky Valley area and is a proud supporter of Smoky Valley High School and Bethany College activities. Located at 117 South Lincoln Street in Lindsborg. Arn Reinert, CPA LLC.
First Bank Kansas is a proud sponsor of Smoky Valley football. First Bank Kansas is your community-oriented, customer-focused bank where banking is made personal with locations in Lindsborg, Salina, and McPherson.
Game day starts and finishes at Farley's Bar and Grill in downtown Lindsborg. Located at 101 North Main, this upscale, one-of-a-kind establishment offers a wide variety of drink and food specials. Come try their jalapeno poppers, coconut chicken tenders, or their classic Monte Cristo. Then wash it down with an ice-cold beer or tall glass of wine. Farley's Bar and Grill at the corner of Lincoln and Main in downtown Lindsborg. Farley's, your game day headquarters for the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes.
This is the Bank of Tesket postgame show. Coming up, the Salina Ortho Player of the Game, scores from around the area, final stats, and an interview with the coach. This is Smoky Valley Vikings football on 95.5 The Rock.
And welcome back to Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field here on the campus of Bethany College, where the Vikings, well, they led 6-0 at halftime. They came out in the third quarter, and finally, with 21 seconds, let me go back here and find out. I forgot to write the time. Well, if you get the time when the Vikings were forced back and got the safety. I forgot to write down the time of the safety, but Brett Heitschmidt gets called for intentional grounding in the end zone. 2 points go up on the board for Collegiate. And then on the ensuing drive, The Viking defense just steps up stellar, and a tackle by Conrad Peterson dislodges the ball from the quarterback. The Vikings get the ball, drive down, and then finally score with 33.8 seconds to go on a Kyle Anderson 3-yard run, and neither two-point conversion for the Vikings worked tonight, and the Vikings win it by a score of 12-2. And joining us now is Coach James Henderson of the Vikings, and all we can say is wow.
Yeah. Hats off to Collegiate.
Oh, boy.
They 5-4, nothing to lose, backs against the wall. Their kids played well, and they played hard. They played very, very hard. It was a dogfight. We love a dogfight, and they wanted to dogfight with us to the very end. And that's all right. That was a great football game, and our kids deserve to come out on the end, the right end of it. So
absolutely.
What a great physical defensive game, though.
Oh man. Do you expect them to pass more? I mean, we don't get to watch film on them. We don't get to see their amount of plays, but the amount of passing yards that their quarterback had amassed, I would have expected him to throw the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, but I think that they probably felt that the clock getting shortened, they knew we were going to want to shorten the clock anyway.
Oh, sure.
And maybe they were banking a little bit on the fact that they thought they might hit a home run sometime. Because they've hit a home run in every game they've played. Somewhere along the lines, number 5 either throws it deep or takes off and runs for 50 or 60 yards. So.
Yeah, but your hats off to your defense. My goodness, the pressure that they put on the quarterback with sometimes 3, sometimes 4 linemen rushing at him and containing him, keeping them in check. The defense, again, was just outstanding.
It really was. We got to give a lot of credit to our defensive linemen. There were some technique things that we wanted to make sure that we used and did, so number 5 would not take off and make a big run on us, and our defensive linemen stayed disciplined and used the techniques that we wanted to stop that. And we really tackled well again tonight. I mean, we tackled very well tonight, so that's exciting too. So,
how about Conrad Peterson on that late drive when he got the stop of the quarterback and then he got the sack? He just was his motor was in high gear in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, he was. They're gonna block him and Ethan part of the night, but they're not going to be able to block him the entire night. And eventually, that was one of those where they just, his effort was greater than theirs, and is a great play. I wish he would have picked that screen they tried to run earlier. I think he just tried to knock it down. I don't think he had any intention to think he could catch it and run with it. So.
Yeah, he could have. That was almost
Kyle's interception was huge in the second half, in the first half there too. That was a big play because they were starting to gain some yards and do some things, and that was a huge play in the game.
Yeah, I don't know that he definitely the quarterback ever saw him. I think he maybe thought he was going to go on by, and then all of a sudden he started drifting back into coverage and got deep enough to get that interception. But that earned him the first half outstanding performance of the first half. So we know that he was good, and I don't know what he ended up with yardage, if he got close to 100 yards, but the penalties kind of took the game flow away. There was way too many penalties on both teams, but anyway, it comes up with a Viking victory.
Yeah, and fortunate, we're moving on.
Yeah,
we're moving on. We got another week that we can practice and get better. And did Holcomb win?
Holcomb was
Holcomb
leading.
was up big.
Yeah.
Clay Center knocked off Nickerson.
Yeah, we knew that. Yeah. Not surprising. Clay Center, that's a darn good team.
Yeah, it was a big comeback late. James, one quick question here. Coming in, did you really in your heart of hearts think you would hold them scoreless? I mean, I know they got the 2 points on the safety.
Well, really, from what we saw from the game film we saw, it was a deal where let's get 3 or 4 stops and let our offense do what our offense does, and we should be in good shape. And that's not kind of how it's, it doesn't always go the way you plan it to, when you're relying on the decisions and what happens with 16, 17, and 18-year-old boys. But we sure love them a lot, and glad to be a part of it. An exciting night, great night for our Vikings, and we're right back where we were last year, and
are we home or on the road? Do we know?
If Holcomb wins, we're at home.
Yeah, and I think they're going to win. I mean, they're up 33-8 was the last score we had, so probably unless there's a outstanding comeback by Colby, he'll have a home game next week, and we'll get to do this all over again.
Yeah, against a playoff season Grizzly team coached by a guy I played with at Bethany College, Kent Teeter. We were both in the same class. So,
oh, really?
So very, very exciting for me. Kent won one a couple years ago, deservingly so. He's a great guy, and that'll be fun for me to match up against Wits with him. That'll be fun.
Well, congratulations on a great night, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, sure proud of our kids' effort.
Oh, absolutely. No question about that. Good. Great effort by the Vikings tonight, and holding on to win. You felt like your backs were up against the wall all night long, and a super job by the Vikings, the coaching staff, as well as the players, and what an exciting win, We do have some doozies, don't we?
Hats off to all those guys, Coach Henderson, Coach Meyer, Coach Peters, Coach Lambert, Coach McClure, Coach Elliott. What a great job all those guys have done. But again, just that consistency of this is what we're going to do and this is who we are. As coaches, I know a lot of times that's one of the statements we make is making that decision of who we are. And the Vikings have really proved every game this year who they are. Hiccup at Larned, but we still did things like we did them. We just didn't do them as well as we're capable of doing them. So it was good to see us get back and get the ship righted in the right direction. And now we've been playing some great football.
How much are your Daubers down when it's 6-2? You just give up a safety, and you got to punt the ball from your own 20-yard line. You're looking like you're going to give Collegiate a big boost here. They're going to get great field position, and then your defense comes up, and your defense plays well, and your defense actually forces a turnover that gets you the ball back, that gets you good field position. It's such a total team effort, both offense, defense, and special teams, that it's why we're still playing.
Well, you look at that and you say, hey, we give up the 2. They've got all the momentum. They're already across the 50. We get the stop.
Yeah.
And then we move backwards 35 yards on the same possession.
Yeah.
And have to punt it back to them and give this offense that only is down by 4.
Yeah.
And we get them 3 and out and force them to punt, and we seal the deal with a score. And it started with Zach catching, picking the ball up on the punt and getting the return and getting the 15-yard late hit, moved us down the field, and of course we finish it up with Kyle Anderson putting the ball in the zone.
Yeah, it's an incredible feeling, and what a reward for the Vikings to move on, just like we did last year, only this one we don't have to go on the road to Pratt, eventual state champion. We get a host at home against, we think it's going to be Holcomb, but we've done all this talking now. What do you got for stats?
Do you want to do a recap real quick on the scoring?
I'll do it after you're done.
Okay, let's do the stats. Stats tonight, Wichita Collegiate High School runs 48 plays tonight. 182 yards of total offense. Again, we said before coming in, they averaged 375.3 on the season and only put up 182 yards tonight on 48 plays. 114 of those coming via the air. McNerney 9 for 22 throwing the football. He did also throw for 2 interceptions, the one to Kyle Anderson in the first half and the one we believe Carson Windholtz had on the last play. His main receivers tonight, he was able to hit Jacob Chugg on 1 catch for 43 yards. Colin Egan, he caught 3 balls for 24. Will DeVore, 3 grabs for 19 yards. Grant Morrow, 1 for 14. Dion Sims also had 1 catch for 14 yards. Rushing the ball tonight was not very successful for them. They averaged about 179 on the year and got 68 yards on 26 attempts, only 2.6 yards per rush. Their leading rusher tonight was their leading rusher this season, Cody McNerney. He had 18 carries for 59 yards, but after that, Grant Morrow had 6 carries for 5 yards. Will DeVore, 2 carries for 4 yards. So only one of their running backs makes it even into double figures tonight as far as yardage. Overall, penalties tonight, we said they had 8 penalties for 70 yards. They did end up having 3 turnovers along the way. 3 punts tonight, averaged 36.3. 8 first downs on the evening, 4 of those via the rush and 4 via the pass. They were 4 for 14 on 3rd down and 2 for 4 on 4th down. The Vikings, meanwhile, 211 yards of total offense tonight on 59 plays. only 3.6 yards per play. Again, going back to what Coach Henderson said, hats off to Collegiate. They played an extraordinary defensive game as well tonight. The Vikings get 50 yards through the air, all of those in the first half, 2 for 6 for Brett Heichschmidt. He threw for 50 yards, obviously. His 2 receptions were both to Tim Lambert, who had 2 grabs for those 50 yards as well. On the ground, 161 yards on 53 attempts, only an average of 3 yards per carry, so the work was dirty inside, and it was physical. You had to really bring it. And Kyle Anderson did again. For the 8th time this year, he makes it over the 100-yard plateau, 25 carries, 106 rushing yards, a 4.2-yard average, and 1 touchdown. Court Elliott, 9 carries for 26 yards. Riley Odell, 9 tough carries for 19 yards. He had the other touchdown. Tim Lambert, 4 for 11. And due to some sacks, Brett Heichschmidt, 6 carries for -1 yard. The rest of the stats for us, we had 9 penalties on the night, ending at 80 yards. Punted the ball 3 times. Riley Odell, 39.3 yards, including a really nice punt after those 3 big penalties that the Vikings picked up. He was able to send the ball down the field and at least make it difficult. We had 14 first downs. Again, that's to 8 for Wichita Collegiate. 12 of ours came via the run, 1 via the pass, and 1 via a penalty. The Vikings were only 3 for 14 on 3rd down tonight for 21%, and 5 of 9 on 4th down, including the late 4th down to seal this game up and eventually lead to the Kyle Anderson touchdown. Time of possession tonight, the Vikings again dominating, 28 minutes, 46 seconds to only 19 minutes and 14 seconds for the Wichita Collegiate Spartans. And on defense, Kyle Anderson ends up leading the way with 5 tackles, including 4 solo tackles and 1 interception. Lane Schrog also 5 tackles, 4 of those solo. Ethan Wampler, 4.5. Conrad Peterson, 4. Carson Windholtz, 3.5, including another interception. Riley Odell, 3. Zach Abel, 3. Tim Lambert, 2.5. Court Elliott, Jacob Adams, Raleigh Wilson, Dylan Archuleta, Josh DeAndrea, Blake Hebel, and Kai Shugren also getting tackles on the evening.
Wow.
A lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of different stuff. We're used to saying Vikings 350 or 400 yards on the night, and we don't say that. But at the same time, our defense really, really stepped up, which leads us to our Salina Ortho Player of the Game. Salina Ortho is a proud sponsor of the Player of the Game. My vote tonight, I've just got to give it to our defense.
Yeah.
I know Kyle had another fantastic game, and I hate to say that we get used to Kyle having a fantastic game, but Kyle obviously a part of that defense. But we held a team like this scoreless. Our defense did. Obviously, they pick up the 2 via the safety, but a team like this that you and I thought coming in could put up a lot of points, so we were going to have to put up a lot of points, shut them out, and that's impressive.
No question about it. I mean, a lot of people were picking the score to be 24-20, 28-24. I mean, every one of the predictions had us winning, but we do end up winning by 10 points, and the defense couldn't agree with you more. Even Kyle Anderson was part of that defense with that pick. You heard Coach Henderson say how big that pick was late second quarter when he dropped back into coverage, and they were driving, and it looked like what they were going to be able to put a score on the board, and he stepped up big defensively, and then all night long Conrad Peterson with a couple of big defensive plays, and just the whole team effort forcing Collegiate after they get the ball back from us, and they're looking at, and we forced them to punt again, and they had to punt late in the game with 1:30 or 2 minutes and 30 or whatever it was left, and it just the defense just played so outstanding tonight. We're really proud of them. And we're moving on.
Recap.
Vikings score first with only 2:49 left to go in the second quarter. A 71-yard drive put together by the Vikings culminated with a Riley Odell 2-yard touchdown run. The 2-point conversion by Anderson failed, and it was 6-0. And then in the second half, the Vikings... a lot of things happened, but the Vikings Collegiate punted and got the ball pinned down inside the 5-yard line. The Vikings went forward on a couple of runs, and then facing a 3rd and 8, Heichschmidt rolling into the end zone and was getting picked up and rushed in there, threw the ball out of bounds. It did not get across the line of scrimmage. Didn't even get out of the end zone, I don't think. and the Collegiate Spartans were awarded a safety. And that's kind of when the game got interesting. That's a 4-point game, and who knows what's going to happen after that. And the Vikings punt the ball away, or kicked off the ball away. Collegiate gets it. They start putting pressure on it. We get a sack and end up getting the ball on a fumble and a defensive play by Conrad Peterson. And then we start driving the ball. Then we get hit with a bunch of penalties, and everything goes crazy. And then we end up giving the ball back. Collegiate has it then again. They punt the ball back. And then Zach Abel gets a big return and gets down inside the 40-yard line, gets a late hit out of bounds, moves it down inside near the 20-yard line. And from there, the Vikings put it in. And that short drive culminated with 33.8 seconds left to go on a Kyle Anderson on 4th down, and I guess it was a 4th down and goal or 4th down and 2. I think it was 4th down and 2.
It was 4th and 2.
Yeah, 4th and 2. He gets a 3-yard touchdown run, and the 2-point conversion also no good, and it was 12-2. And then the Vikings defense just held on and ran the clock out, and what a sensational victory for Smoky Valley, and just happy to move on after, controversial, lots of different things distracting from the game, but the Vikings win it here at home, and we'll play at home again. I guess we have a final from...
Still 33-8 is the last score I've gotten. It's so hard to find scores sometimes, especially coming from Western Kansas. You made, again, great comments. I mean, great points. The Vikings, just a total team effort again tonight, doing what we do well. Just continuing to play good, solid football and continuing to stick with each other. One of the things that's really stood out to me throughout this entire season, and one of the things that has really been evident on this team is not overreacting to any situation. I think you saw that even when there was some confusion about the penalty, whether or not it should have been marked off from the spot of the foul or the line of scrimmage. And Coach Lambert finally just said, I'm not going to argue that call anymore. We're just going to play football. Let's just go. And again, I think that's a tribute to our team. Line us up, let us play, and let us go to work. And that's what we do. We just kind of go out there, and if you want to throw a curveball at us, we're going to do that. I know you and I talked a lot about some unique calls tonight, but they were unique calls all the way across the board. And so, I didn't necessarily think there were a fumble out here on their quarterback early in the game either. It didn't end up going against them. We don't score out of it, but it does stop a drive, although I think that was on a 3rd down play, if I remember correctly. And so, there were just interesting calls. That's probably the easiest way to say that as well.
And did it affect the outcome of the game? Probably not, because it just maybe would have been a different score, but the Vikings probably would have held on and won anyway. But that'll wrap it up. We could talk forever on all the ifs, ands, ors, and that's about it. But the Vikings move on, and we will play next week at home. And any final thoughts on the game?
Great game tonight. Great team effort tonight. Again, can't say enough about our coaching staff and our young men. As you point out, we will have a game here. Most likely next week. It looks like Holcomb's going to get the win. Those of you fans out there, it's going to be a 7 o'clock start again, I would assume. Mm-hmm. Expect that there will probably be a tailgate again, so come on out and have something to eat. We don't know who that's going to be yet, but I'm sure we'll get something set up. Let's fill this house again. Let's get it out here and let's get as many people here. Our band tonight under the direction of Henry Liddick did a great job. Adam Keller was absent today, but Henry did a great job leading them. We had a great student section. This is that time of year that just gets to be so much fun. And like you said before, it's nice to be at home.
Nice to be at home. Nice to pick up a victory and move on, advance, no matter what the score is. It could have been 8-9.
Bethany College tomorrow, Don?
Bethany College, 1:30 kickoff against Friends. Senior night or senior afternoons, last home game, and then they'll be on the road at Bethel. They have lost a couple of the last couple of weeks, so they have no chance for the league title, but still a winning season to play for. So come out and support your Bethany Swedes tomorrow afternoon. And we mentioned the cross-country team. Congratulations to them once again, taking 6th place a week ago in Wamego at the cross-country meet there. And Josh Peterson, the only one to medal with a 17:08. Got 17th place, but the team medaled and got 6th, so we're proud of them for doing that. And that'll wrap it up for Jared back at the station. For Doug, this is Don, wishing everybody a very pleasant good night. We'll talk to you next week from right here at Anderson Stadium. Take care, everyone, and good night.
The proceeding was a Rockingham Media sports presentation. Please visit our Sportscaster Club sponsors who make these broadcasts possible.